Helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
A new Honda? Nice. Well, it was like this. It was a super hot day, so we all stopped for some ice cream. When bam, the AC went out. My dad started sweating and was all, man, I stink. And my brother was like, I hate this car. And my mom was all, I'm dying in here. Then I said, it's time to call Stockton Honda. Then Dad was like, honey, you're right. I knew you were my favorite. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue. StocktonHonda.com.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Why'd the kid jump off the boat?
I don't know. Why?
Peer pressure.
Oh, good one, Ned.
Ned isn't funny, but Ned owns a boat, and you don't. So every time Ned tells another one of his unfunny boat puns, you're going to laugh loud and keep on laughing until you get a boat of your own.
A pier where you put a boat.
Yeah, I get it.
And when you do get a boat of your own, make sure you save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
When is the best time to buy a new air conditioning system? Right now with Bell Brothers' end of summer clear-out sale. You'll get up to $2,700 off a top-of-the-line AC system. Plus, no payments or interest for 1 year for qualified buyers. Call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or go online to thenosurpriseguys.com because we only have a limited number of new top-of-the-line AC systems. And when they're gone, this offer is over. Need more info? Call us. Estimates and second opinions are always free. So call now for up to $2,700 off a new premium AC system. And no payments or interest for 1 year. Plus, if you call now, we'll throw in your choice of a free smart thermostat or indoor air purification system. But you have to call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com. Remember, end of summer is the best time to buy and save on a new AC system. Thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Tape it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 11:40 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
All right, Drape's not here today, and obviously we're going to miss him already. But Jay, thank goodness Drapes isn't here today, because you know what he'd be talking about all day long after what happened to the 49ers yesterday, right? We don't have to hear that unless he pops in. I wouldn't be surprised if he pops in at some point just to share with us his views, special edition of Drape's Takes or something on that game yesterday, but no Draper today. That said, Jay, you know, I know it's only 2 games in, but and maybe it's because I had such a terrible day with my picks and everything yesterday, but that loss angered me yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because it shouldn't have happened, because Kyle Shanahan got out-coached. Kyle Shanahan started the game with 7 passes in the first 8 plays. He was rolling over from the first snap. The Vikings and Brian Flores and their exotic fronts and coverages had Kyle Shanahan out thinking himself from the very first play from scrimmage. It was disappointing.
Well, that normally happens with Shanny. I think that's the point when you have his detractors, and I just bring up TC because he's the first one that pops in my mind. But the detractors of Kyle Shanahan always say sometimes he's a little too smart for his own good.
I would agree with that yesterday. And here, a week ago, I know I was saying, we were not going to hear from TC today because Kyle Shanahan put on a masterclass. But yesterday, I don't think he put on a masterclass.
No,
I need to revoke his credential. In fact, after yesterday,
revoke whose credential?
This is credential as an instructor.
Oh,
from masterclass to hey, wait a minute, I don't know if you're qualified.
Yeah, he's on probation all of a sudden.
He certainly got outcoached by Brian Flores, did he not?
Yeah,
I know
he
that
did.
happens. That's a good coach.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely. One of the things that I always, talk about Shanahan, and I just lean on the side of the detractors. Not only sometimes does he get too cute sometimes, not only does he is he too smart for his own good sometimes. I think the other thing too, the 49ers offensively don't do a lot is they don't make adjustments. And you hear most of the time, you heard even yesterday, the analysts talking about the 49ers, they just do what they do. They don't really change their game plan. They don't really operate by what's going on in during the game. And I mean that to a standpoint of listening. If it's 3 minutes on the clock, they're running a 4-minute offense. Don't get me wrong. They're normally trying to be a little faster, but there's a lot of times where they don't really maneuver and I guess operate to the beat of the drum of what the game is. And sometimes, at least for me, that's my frustration with the 49ers. Sometimes is like, they just depend on who they are a little bit too much. And I'm like, you got to dial up a play. And then they dialed up a play with George Kittle, the screen. But those are the things for me. I think when you talk about detractors for Kyle Shanahan and the team, that's where you have, some credence to what they're saying.
They need to, as you say, dial up a play. Yesterday, they needed to dial up a few plays going forward on fourth down. They were 1 for 3.
Yeah.
Third down, the third down conversion rate yesterday was terrible
on both sides.
Right before the last, their last field goal, third down, and they threw that. What was that pass to Debo that got tipped? And it was actually a lateral. Jay, I'm no offensive mastermind, but that was a terrible play call, was it not?
Yeah, it was. And again, that
had no chance.
Yeah, but I think that's part of, the 49ers. A lot of times when they're down, they don't have the credence of the hurry up offense. They don't move fast a lot of times.
Should they not have gone to the hurry up sooner?
Yes, they should.
Yes.
But they don't never do it. It's something Shanahan does not operate. He doesn't do a very good job. I'll even give you another thing that gets on my nerves with the 49ers is this. The 49ers maneuver like college when it comes to this. They're in the huddle slow sometime and or fast, meaning they look over. Like you see college's offenses, they'll get to the line and it'll be 25 seconds left on the clock. Then they'll all look over to the coach. Then the quarterback will go up there and recall a play. Sometimes the 49ers do that, but they're always behind the clock to me. Like the play clock, they snap always within 7 seconds, of it in 00. And sometimes it just frustrates me, but that's who the 49ers are.
Well, remember, that's what Matt Ryan said about playing for Shanahan. He said, takes so long to get the plays in sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, how much do you think it affected the 49ers, the fact that they had to play that early game? And I mention this only because I'm not looking for excuses, but Jay said that before the game. He said that's the one thing that concerned him the most about the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And
I'm with you. You're the one that said it. I'll give you credit.
And the other part, too, is West Coast teams don't go to the East Coast very well, especially when you have a little finesse. The 49ers aren't finesse, but you can't tell me they didn't get bullied a little bit.
They did.
Yeah, and so when you're going up against a good line, a good front seven like the Vikings have, they don't have an overpowering seven, but they have a very solid front seven. And so I just thought the 49ers, they got out-finessed a little bit, out-bullied a little bit. They got pushed around quite a bit. And, the TCs of the world, they always talk about, the being able to change up on a dime. I think the 49ers don't do a good job of that now. And then when you start to intertwine the timing of the game, I think it, just kind of snowball for them.
I like to check what the other team's newspaper says about the game.
So, I do that too.
Do you?
Yeah, I do that too.
So today I checked the Minneapolis Star Tribune, and what they said was that Viking backups, C.J. Ham, the guy that blocked the punt, and Brian Flores. Viking backups, C.J. Ham and Brian Flores bamboozled the 49ers. That was the word they used.
Was that in the Star or the Trib?
That was the Star Tribune. Yeah. They could have said bumfuzzled, I guess.
Yeah, they should have.
Bamboozled.
Yeah.
And I think that's right on the money.
And what form?
Well, how many times yesterday did you see the 49ers, the offensive line, and then also the secondary look like they don't know what they're doing?
A bunch of times.
Yeah, exactly. How many times did you see the Vikings look like that? I mean, I know there were some bad plays.
Sure.
Fred Warner was phenomenal. But how many times did the Vikings look confused compared to how many times the 49ers looked like, how come no one's covering him? Wait, who's blocking this guy? I mean, that was a mismatch in that regard yesterday.
Very true. You know, for me, and this is kind of one of the shortcomings of the 49ers. You know, a lot of people talk about not throwing at Charvarius Ward. Most people choose not to. And isn't this interesting, Whitey?
Would you want to have him covering their best receiver?
I would. But you know what? A lot of teams in the NFL don't operate that. And we'll play a sound. Obviously, Charvarius Ward talked about he does his best work when he is glued to the best receiver, which would have been Justin Jefferson until he left yesterday. I was going to say last night. It was during the day. But the other part of that, though, is this was something that we talked about last year is adjustments. You know, Steve Wilkes not making adjustments. For my money, Robert Saleh and D'Amico Ryans, to me, I mean, he excelled at that. The first half, you could tell they had a plan, and however the game was swinging, he would come out and make adjustments. How many times did we see that trips on the right on Charvarius Ward's side, Jair Brown playing this sometimes safety high, sometimes safety low, sometime in between. The other part, too, for me is with the 49ers, I can't stand the fact that they play zone in the fourth quarter. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I can't stand it because they don't have the proper safeties to play zone. When you play Tampa 2, cover 3, over the top, you got to have guys that are tremendous as a safety. Right now, Huff is the guy. You know, we've seen, and there's plenty of things to talk
Odom
about.
Got benched yesterday.
And that's my point is this. When Justin Jefferson had the 97-yard touchdown, it was who covering him? George Odom, a safety.
Yeah.
At some point in time, you have to just say that's not going to work. And it kills me. If Charvarius Ward, that's your side. If you look to your right,
I don't think there were any corners lined up on him on that play.
No, they weren't.
Yeah.
Charvarius Ward is 5 feet to the right. You see George Odom getting ready to stick the best wide receiver in the leg. Hey, you know what, Coach? I'm going to jump over there, and I'll take the heat. I know we're running the scheme and all, but that's not it, man. It's just the detractors of what people talk about Kyle Shanahan, and he's not calling defensive plays. The adjustments, sometimes they just too smart for their own good. And sometimes you could just get out, just out finessed sometimes.
Yeah, it's cliche, but, people always ask when they're interviewing the coaches in whatever sport, what adjustments are you going to make at halftime? So there are some things that go on. So I was curious to see, all right, what are the 49ers coming out with in the third quarter? Not much different from the first half. And as good as J.P. Mason was yesterday, and he put up big numbers again, and he's a better pass blocker, too, than I realized, Jay.
Yes.
He's a really good player, but I think yesterday was a reminder of why the 49ers traded for Christian McCaffrey in the first place.
Great point. That's a great point. I
Tim
think you're spot on
Kawakami
that.
maybe pointed that out as well. And then as far as the defense, it's kind of, Nick Sorensen with a new coordinator. It's an open question here. Is he a good coordinator? We don't know yet. Yesterday was definitely a step in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I mean, point blank period, Fred Warner was almost single-handedly keeping the 49ers in the game at a point in time, I will say this. I think their D-line is definitely improved. You can see it. Like it's almost measurable. Yes, it's almost measurable. You can see some of those guys getting in the backfield a little quicker. You see Hargrave is in better shape. Givens is pushing the line. Malik Collins looks 10 times better. And, dare I say it because of Sacramento guy, I think he looks a lot more active than Eric Armstead right now. And I know we're only talking about 2 games, but I think he looks healthier. He looks faster. He looks quicker. It looks like he's making more of a positive, moving in more of a positive direction than you've seen the defensive tackles last year, which included Eric Armstead. And I'm not picking on him. I'm just saying I think Malik Collins looks to be a better player right now.
A local guy like that, you're going right after him.
Yeah, well, have you seen Eric Armstead play this year?
I haven't.
I watched a couple of the Jags games. You can tell, and you know this, when you're a big fella, the legs and the feet are very, very important.
Yes.
And when you have that plantar fasciitis and that tendonitis and things like that, they slow you down. They just do.
Oh, yeah. 49ers plainly, simply outcoached yesterday. What they do about that when we come right back. Jae and Whitey today. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
The last 6 Sacramento Rivercats games of the 25th anniversary season are packed with promotions and theme nights. Join us for Hispanic Heritage Night on September 17th, the Rivercats Golfer Hat Giveaway on September 20th, our inaugural Harry Potter Night on September 21st, and cap off the homestand with Fan Appreciation Day for the final game of the season on Sunday, September 22nd. Make your way to the ballpark for a farewell to the Rivercats of 2024. Visit rivercats.com to purchase tickets today.
Sacramento, Dierks Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park for Country in the Park 2.
What was I thinking?
And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee.
I want to close your eyes for this.
Tyler Rich. Dasha. And more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
2nd and 9 for the Vikings from their own 3. Darnold under center. Play action to Jones. Back to pass. Bosa picked up. Deep shot. Jefferson. Yes! Caught at the 50. Heads one to the 40. Cuts back to the 25. Heads to the right. He's trying to outrun the Niners. To the 5. Touchdown! A 97-yard touchdown from Sam Darnold to Justin Jefferson.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916 Sactown Sports.
That call courtesy of K-Fan, that was a gut punch, right, Jay? Especially right after the 49ers failed to convert on 4th and 2, and then it's like, well, okay, still got them pinned back, and then not for long, Sammy Darnold with the cannon going up top, adding insult to injury.
Take the points.
Yeah.
Take the points, Shanahan. Tie the game.
Yeah.
That's part of getting
all of a
too
sudden
cute.
he's a gunslinger yesterday.
Yeah, getting
He's
too
throwing
cute.
the ball more than running the ball. And then going for it on 4th down. It's like Brian Flores is in his head or something.
Ooh. You're saying he's got a little therapy? He needs a little couch sitting?
Maybe. You go back to last year, we saw what happened, and you go back to, what was it, 2020, when Flores was the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins. when they came out, and that was ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the schemes, as Brock Purdy said, the schemes are incredible. They're crazy.
They are. Yeah. And then, let's face it. This isn't an excuse. I think it's a fact. 49ers still could have won that game. I submit they should have won that game.
Yeah, well, I don't know about should have. I won't agree with that, but they definitely could have won the game. The 3 points, we know how when you second guess stuff, White. If we knew what we do now, right? Isn't that the saying? If I knew what I knew now back in the day, if how the game operated and the prelude of not kicking the field goal probably came back to Kyle Shanahan during the game, somewhere 2nd, 3rd, 4th quarter. I was like, man, if I'd have kicked that field goal, we could have made this a lot closer, a lot easier. But, ifs and buts, right?
Yeah. The game for me was irritating as was for a lot of Niner fans. And I think maybe one reason was because of something that happened yesterday. If I may, just real quick, we'll get back to things. Jay, yesterday, I was talking about this with Alan and Chris, so maybe you heard. But yesterday, our daughter, Lonnie, took me to Giants game for my birthday, which my birthday is about the same time as yours. So she got it set up months ago. So we we had great seats. We're actually on TV, but you can only see our shirts. That's how close we were.
Oh, boy.
And she paid for parking and everything. So at one point she's like, Lonnie says, I'm going to get something to eat.
Where'd you park?
We parked at about 3 blocks away in a lot.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, really great. Walked the park, really nice walk across the bridge. And she says, I'm going to get something to eat. And she's going to get a crab sandwich. I said, hey, hold on. You paid for all this. Hold on. Let me, I'll get it for you. And I said, I'll get one too. 2 crab sandwiches and 2 waters, please. Guess how much it cost?
Ooh. I was not listening.
2 crab
sandwiches and 2 waters.
2 waters. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna throw it out there and say 25, 50, 60. I'm gonna say about $70.
That's right. 66 something.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. That's very good. I was just, it caught me off guard.
25, 25, 50, 50.
Yeah. 66, 74, something like that. And at first I thought, whoa. I must have accidentally ordered 2. And Lonnie said, no, that's what
that's about
and
the
it was
size
good
of
and
it.
everything.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, oh no, I can't afford that. It was just like, wait, that can't be right.
Did it come with fries?
No.
What?
Sir. No
chips.
Chips. Let me check on the chips. No chips. There will be no chips.
Damn, it didn't come with
Enjoy
nothing.
your sandwich. Yeah.
How big was the sandwich? Was it at least a 6-inch? Damn.
No, I don't think so. And it was good. It was on a, toasted sourdough. So it was a really good sandwich, but it just caught me, totally off guard. Whoa, hold on. I'm sorry. I must have hit the wrong.
That 97, that you got caught like George Odom, huh?
Yes.
Jair Brown.
Yes, exactly. Whoa. Anyway, we had a good time.
I'm about to say, did you enjoy yourself besides the fact that you're with your daughter?
Yes,
going to see that whack team. Did you enjoy yourself?
Very nice. Okay. They had a celebration of life for Orlando Cepeda.
Yeah, shouts out to Orlando.
And then, people were watching the 49er game on their phone, which was wrapping up. Then I came home and watched it last night. But I know it's only the second game of the year. And last week, Jay, you said, look, week 1, don't get excited about anything.
Same thing for me this week.
Yeah. The 49ers, as long as they can kind of hold serve and keep their heads above water till CMC comes back, knock on wood, they should be fine. But there was something about that loss yesterday that didn't sit well with me. They just looked so bad, and they just looked the week before they had looked so much like they were on point and they dictated the pace of the game, everything about the game. And then yesterday, everything was dictated to them.
Yeah, week 1. Week 1, you come out, the adrenaline is high, the energy is high, everybody's happy to be back on the field when it means something. Week 1 is something different, and we'll see as we start to settle in. Weeks 5, 6, 7, 8, injuries start to take a toll. Unfortunately, you can pull up any sports site, pull up Sac Sports 1140, and you'll find out. You see guys like Isaiah Pacheco, guys like that who's fallen to the wayside. Jordan Johnson, guys who won't be playing for the rest of the season after a week or 2. And so, it's tough. And for me, I'm with you. I was frustrated in the form of this is a revenge game. And I said that a couple times last week. You have to go in to Minnesota, showcase some talents and prove something different. And they didn't do that. And then, a couple people threw in the Sam Darnold situation. I care less. Sam Darnold ain't going to no Super Bowl. Sam Darnold ain't doing nothing special. We can move on from that. If you believe it, then show it to me. Sam Darnold is not winning the Super Bowl with the Minnesota Vikings this year. But with all that being said, if you have Super Bowl aspirations, if you have NFC West Championship aspirations, those are the games that, you tend to want to see the 49ers win. They didn't. Week 2, you went on the road. You got smacked around, got bullied enough. Fred Warner spoke about it a little bit. I'm pretty sure we'll play that. And I think that's, for me as a 49er fan, 49ers ain't going to win every single game. Let's be honest.
Not now.
Well, going into it, I think and this is what I can't agree with when it comes to Drapes with 49ers fans. Sometimes you got to be realistic. Teams go on the road and they get smacked around.
Yep.
It happens.
But to a degree yesterday, they beat themselves.
Of course.
And I'm giving full credit to Minnesota because they played well and they brought it. But there were so many times yesterday when the 49ers, as I said, they looked out of sorts. And I think the Vikings won strategically. They won physically and maybe even psychologically to the point you just made, revenge game. But after the game, if you saw anything from the Vikings locker room, they're like, everyone's like, oh, Sam Darnold, like, oh, it's such a big game for Sam. And I believe the coach got emotional talking about Sam Darnold after the game.
Yeah.
Like, oh, poor Sam, what he's been through. And he used to be the backup over there. Now he's leading us. It's like, and the 49ers were just so lifeless and flat.
But that's part of it, Whitey. And this championship caliber teams, you're going to get the best from every single team that you face.
Mm-hmm.
The 49ers will probably get, if not most people's A, they're going to get their B+.
Absolutely.
The 49ers should have adjusted to that by now. I'm pretty sure they understand that, especially with the main guys on the team. With that being said, You have to match intensity. You have to match, as you said, not being lifeless. You have to match the aggressiveness. And you also have to have a better understanding that there are going to be some games that aren't that easy. And I think they know that. I'm not sure 49er fans know that because we've been spoiled all the way up to the point of not winning a championship over the last handful of years. And there are numerous times throughout the past seasons where it's been frustrating. And then, they'll rattle off 3-4 wins and then everything is great. That normally would happen, normally is what happens with the 49ers. And for most part, you see that happen in Super Bowl aspirations. Let's look what happened to the Chiefs last year. I mean, Pat Mahomes was up at the podium crying like a young person, right? I had to catch myself because I got to be PC.
Like a young person.
Yeah, he was crying. He was crying like a toddler.
Yeah.
But won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. So
who cares about the crying anymore?
Speaking of quarterbacks, what did you think of the game Brock Purdy had yesterday?
I thought he did well. He made some mistakes. He made some great. He had some great throws. He made a few mistakes. You could tell he was confused on a few things. I thought the O-line didn't help him out. I thought Trent Williams didn't help him out a few times.
Yeah.
And that's my point when we sit up here and talk about Trent Williams being the almighty Trent Williams. He be getting beat sometimes.
Yeah,
though.
he did.
It's like, come on, man.
Overall, he's still graded out according to Pro Football Focus, but you're right. There's one play in particular where it was right in front of, we could all see it that the defensive end or the linebacker blitz or whoever was just went right around.
Just right, worked him.
Not used to seeing Brock hold the ball that much, which tells me, he's great.
Yeah.
We can debate how good he is. Is he really that good? One thing he's great at is making quick reads.
Truth.
That's what if anything sets him apart, it's that. And yesterday, it was just taking him too long to figure out what are they doing? And then it was too late. And then the pass protection didn't hold up. So I give Minnesota credit for that. But, he had decent numbers. The ball that flopped out of his hand was a strange one.
I know what that was about.
Overall, I thought, the interception was not a great throw, and he had a couple other ones that could have been picked.
Yep.
Considering all circumstances, I'm with you. I didn't think he was terrible yesterday.
No, he's not. And one thing we have to understand is quarterbacks make mistakes. Great ones do. Pat Mahomes threw a terrible pick yesterday, and I just use him because everybody believes he's walking.
Was it called
Jesus.
back?
Not that one. Not that one. That one was actually picked up. That wasn't called back. But it happens, man. It happens. And because it's Brock Purdy, we're consistently have to evaluate and grade what he's done. And I'm not saying us, meaning the drive guys. I'm talking about the NFL community. We always have to evaluate and grade what Brock Purdy does in a win and or a loss.
He made some terrific throws yesterday, too.
The one to Debo, name a person that's wore a 49er uniform beside Colin Kaepernick in the last 20 years who could probably do that.
He throws into those tight. He's not afraid to throw into those tight windows.
I mean, Troy Smith, maybe, those are the things that I get excited about having Brock, where it's like, dude is a high caliber quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he may not be Josh Allen, but I don't think he's Russell Wilson right now. I don't think he's, and I hate to pile on a young fella, I don't think he's Bryce Young,
Certainly not.
Yeah, like Brock Purdy is a high-end quarterback, and you can see it, hence what you're talking about, throwing on time, throwing a guy open. And there's some times where you can definitely see he's still got a little more to learn.
Mm-hmm. I apologize.
No,
I guess the camera was, we're on this camera.
Oh,
today?
what happened?
Yeah. Sorry about that. Thank you, ever pointed at Compio. Yeah. Sorry about that, Compio. Yeah. You're not missing anything. Anyway, onward and upward for the 49ers, but
it has been changed.
Thank you. It's only week 2, and Minnesota's off to a great start, and they're probably better than a lot of us thought, but I just thought that it was unfortunate for the 49ers to go from such a dominating, encouraging performance to such a lackluster, in some ways discouraging loss. That's the NFL.
It is.
But with this team, when you're paying so much, how fans look at it?
Yep.
We look at it like they're paying top dollar to so many of these players because they're supposed to be the best or one of the very best at their position. And they're supposed to have the defensive issues worked out, the kinks in the secondary and stopping the run. And then yesterday, the Vikings said, we don't care about any of that. Good night.
Yeah. Stretching the field on you boys.
Yeah.
They did a good job. And I thought yesterday too, White, there were the bigger key players for the 49ers had some letdowns. I truly think so. Like, again, we talked about nobody throws a ball at Shavarius. Well, they were. And guess what they were doing? They were picking on the right side. They saw something between Shavarius and Jair Brown. They're not in lockstep.
Yeah.
Something over there is not right. And believe me, they were going over there even when Justin Jefferson was out the game. 4th-string quarterback. Let's go right over there. We're not even testing Demo.
Yeah.
Let's go right at Shavarius.
Didn't it seem like Brock Purdy back to throw, look out, no time, no one to throw to, whereas Sam Darnold back to throw on 3rd down, I could throw it there. I could throw it there, but I think I'll go back over it. First down, right? That's what it seemed like.
A couple times, yes. A couple times.
Yeah. I don't know if 49er pass rush they had some teeth yesterday. When we come back, did the officials bail out the Chiefs? Again, Jay has discovered a very interesting number, which we'll share with you next on Sactown Sports.
Advanced Infusion Center, where wellness meets vitality. Unlock your full potential with our customized Liquivita vitamin IV drips tailored to fit your unique lifestyle. Whether you're an athlete aiming for peak performance or travel often and looking to stay healthy, we have an IV just for you. At Advanced Infusion Center, we understand that wellness isn't just one size fits all. That's why our expert team is here to personalize your infusion experience. Ready to elevate your wellness journey? Call Advanced Infusion Center today or visit us at advancedinfusion.com.
Do you have old baseball cards and sports memorabilia from the 50s and 60s collecting dust in your closet? They could be very valuable in any condition. Find out at the Sports Cards Roadshow. We'll be in the Sacramento area to evaluate your old and modern sports cards. Visit sportscardsroadshow.com today to schedule your appointment. Ask about your free on-site sports card evaluation. For large vintage and modern collections, we can come to you. Skip the garage sale. Sports Cards Roadshow is buying. Call 1-800-560-3272 today or visit sportscardsroadshow.com.
Sponsored by Xfinity Internet. Enjoy ultimate control of your home network. Personalize your Wi-Fi name and password. Assign user profiles. View and control connected devices and more with the Xfinity Internet app.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
High voltage live boxing action returns to Northern California Saturday, September 21st at the venue at Thunder Valley with Thunder Showdown, featuring the undefeated 12th ranked welterweight in the world, Amari Jones. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Fight cards subject to change.
Silverado savings spectacular now at Maida Chevy with $13,000 off MSRP. Every new Silverado half-ton LTZ in stock after rebates. $12,500 off every Silverado half-ton High Country after rebate. And $11,000 off all new Silverado half-ton RSTs exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Whatever Silverado you choose, you'll save thousands at Maida Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer. Ends 9/30/24.
It's game on at Sky River Casino during our $100,000 Get in the Game giveaway. Catch your share of $25,000 in weekly prizes with a guaranteed $10,000 cash winner. Earn entries by playing your favorite slots and table games and score a free entry each day at our promo kiosk. Join us every Saturday in September from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. to kick off your winning spree. Visit skyriver.com for details. Must be 21 or over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Is the Chateau crawling with Raider fans? Sactown weighing in here.
Okay.
Let's talk about the winning team. Bears! Max Crosby for DPOY. Give the Raiders all the credit in the world.
Yeah.
How in the world did the Ravens at home blow a 10-point lead late in that game?
Not
taking nothing away from the Raiders.
Not executing.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to do that. They're too good to do that, right? They hosted the AFC Championship game last year.
Again, we're talking about a lot of times it's like the college football season. I'm a huge college football guy. We operate on what happened last year. These are whole different teams. These are people that we haven't seen suiting up for, certain teams. We talk about Well, last year the 49ers did this. Well, that's a whole different group. And so I'm not.
But this group's supposed to be better.
Yeah, but fan how you want to fan, White. Look, I'm not the person to tell anybody how to fan. But we're only two weeks in. Like we are literally two weeks into
and
the
season's already over. Jay.
Yes, it is. So it's for some teams. Carolina Panthers.
What about the Ravens? Are 0-2.
And the Ravens, there. You probably hear a couple people over there in the Bmore area ready to talk about it. But
Baltimore Sports Talk Radio is not a happy place today.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure. I'm pretty sure it isn't.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Lamar's
right.
catching a lot of smoke. You see all the talking heads on the Nationals. Lamar blew for them. Yeah, maybe 2 weeks in, man.
What do you think they're talking about in Cincinnati? They're talking about how the officials always protect the Chiefs, something that we touched on last week. I will say this: one of the key calls in that game was a pass interference that went against the Bengals. If they hadn't called it, Bengals, I believe, would have won the game. I thought it was a PI, Jay. I thought that was I
thought he got there early.
Yeah, I saw that. Coming out of the restroom at the Giants game and looked up and saw it. It's like, oh, that's a pass interference. That's a pass interference.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty close. I thought he was a smidget early.
Yeah.
He went over the back.
Yeah, that's the rule.
Yeah. Looked like Bismack Biyombo over. DeMontis Sabonis over the back. We'll be crying about it here in Sacramento at the Golden One Center if that was the case. Yeah, I can't argue that. I do think there are certain situations that a lot of people are starting to pay attention to.
Here's what Jay shared with me. This is from tweets by Sneaky Joe. Patrick Mahomes just threw his 17th interception that was called back due to a defensive penalty, most in the NFL since 2018. Assuming that's true, okay. I mean, that certainly adds fuel to a certain narrative.
Sure. Well, I mean, you got to protect who you got to protect, and whoever you don't care for. There is something to be said. There is something to be said. Why? I don't know what it is. I can't put my thumb on it. I know we've talked about it here on the show. There's something to be said about the Chiefs getting lucky. And I'll just leave it at that way. I'm not a believer that the league completely is like, you know what? We've heard scripts are being written. We've heard all these different narratives and cockamamie schemes, but
that only happens in basketball.
Yeah,
that happen in football.
I get it. There is something there that they continue to get the benefit of the whistle.
I would say this to their credit, not being a Chiefs guy, you have to be able to stay in the game. If that is something that's happening, you have to make sure your team's in position where you can take advantage of that. Point being, I assume that the networks love the Cowboys. Everyone's watching the Cowboys.
Sure.
The Cowboys didn't, if they had gotten a favorable whistle yesterday, it wouldn't have mattered because they got boat raced. Yep. So that's what I'm saying in a roundabout way. The Chiefs, at the very least, deserve credit for being in these close games. And Patrick Mahomes obviously is, he's going to make sure you're in a game.
Yeah, I think so, unless you call back those 18 picks. And I think that's what people are, consistently saying is they're getting away with certain things that other teams aren't getting away. And so now it's starting to look a little shady. It's like, that's a little shady. This man that got 18. Now it'd be different if it was 3, 5, but 18, White? Like, think about 18 is enough to change a person's career, is it not?
Could be. It depends too on context.
Sure.
Who's second?
Of
who's
course.
third?
Of course.
Are these numbers even right?
Of course.
Yeah. But that narrative got a little boost yesterday. But
Yeah,
I
18.
do say that as far as that pass interference yesterday, that was pass interference.
Yeah,
I don't care
think that
what time
one
of the game it happened in.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he got there a little early. I thought it was bang, bang. You could have let it go either way, but I was okay with, pass interference versus, letting it go. I err on more let it play unless it's super egregious, unless it's something where it's like, oh my goodness, what are we doing? But I do think there are opportunities within the game, especially being a 49er fan, that you've seen the Chiefs like, come on, that's not even close. That is definitely holding. Nick Bosa is getting put in the full Nelson.
Yes.
And nothing's being called.
Yeah.
And so
full Nelson, half Nelson.
Yeah.
Jameer Nelson.
the cross-face crippler. The chicken wing. What was the cross-face chicken wing or whatever, dude? Bob, who was that, man? Where's my wrestling guys?
Yeah.
Bob Backlund. Was it Bob Backlund?
No.
Come on,
I'm
why
sorry.
you didn't watch
I don't
wrestling?
know. I'm not going to pretend I know. I can't help
Are you a
that.
wrestling guy?
Used to be, but no.
Really? When did you stop?
Oh, about 1968.
Oh, yeah. It used to be. It's a long time ago.
No, 1974.
I still used to be. That's a long used to be. The Chiefs are good. No doubt about it. There's been some funny business happening, some shady business happening. A lot of people could say when the chips are pushed into the middle of the table, the Chiefs seem to get the call a few people don't seem to get.
Maybe true. But from the standpoint of someone who'd like to see the 49ers do well,
yep.
This is a fact, and it's a little uncomfortable to face this fact. There's two defensive coordinators who seem to have Kyle Shanahan's number. One of them is Brian Flores. The other one is Steve Spagnuolo. They have a way of disguising blitzes, disguising coverages that seems to be Kyle Shanahan's kryptonite. We certainly saw it yesterday.
So I disagree with
I
the
think
Chiefs.
it even got into his head a little bit.
Yeah, I could see where you're going with the Brian Flores. I disagree with Steve Spags, though. I think the 49ers have operated around Spags a few times. I think, and this is, again, going back to the detractors, I think Shanahan has gotten too cute with certain things. I think he has outsmarted himself with certain things. I think there have been opportunities where the 49ers, and we can go back to the Super Bowl, they were operating at a high caliber. McCaffrey hold on to the ball. That's a different story. There were, how many were there? 2, 3 possessions the 49ers had that they couldn't score on a third. I mean, that they couldn't get a few extra first downs that would have changed the game. To me, that's not a Spags thing. That's the 49ers not executing the way they were supposed to do. I think yesterday, and as you brought up against the Dolphins a couple years ago, I think Flores and them kind of pushed around the 49ers offense. I'm not sure the Chiefs do that beside the line. You know, the line does well. Chris Jones does well. Frank Clark did well a couple years against the 49ers line.
The thing is, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but as far as Flores goes, just talking about Flores.
Yeah,
and we've talked about this already today. Yeah, Minnesota, they were more physical than the 49ers, but I think they were more physical because the 49ers literally could not figure out the schemes. You know, so they couldn't block people. So they didn't know who to block. So it wasn't just, wow, they got run over. It's like they didn't know who to block. Couldn't figure out how to stop them on either side of the ball.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's why I say Brian Flores, to me, might have Shanahan figured out in certain ways. And that's the lack of, you know, the adjustments for Shanahan. And I don't know how you want to, you know, position that. And I've tried to say it 2 or 3 different ways. White, maybe you can help me out. I'm not sure why Shanahan doesn't make adjustments in many different modes that, to me, the plain eye could see.
I think sometimes he's stubborn.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to do what we do.
We do. Yeah.
And then that was the troubling thing yesterday. You were doing things that you normally don't do, and they weren't working.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Yeah.
As far as the Raiders go, look, tip of the cap to the Raiders, right? That was stunning. As somebody pointed out on the text line, the Raiders were bigger underdogs to the Ravens than the Patriots were to the Bengals last week. Is it 8.5? I think is what it ended up, something like that. And Antonio Pierce even mentioned that. And they were down 10 in the fourth quarter, and they come back, win that game. So yes, that's an incredible comeback. But at some point, a team like the Ravens, you're not supposed to let that happen.
Right.
That's a troubling sign.
Is it more what the Raiders did or more what the Ravens didn't do? For me, it's more what the Ravens didn't do compared to what the Raiders did.
For me, I'm going to say the other side. It's more what the Raiders did, because, you know, Gardner Minshew, there's a lot of people that would tell you, well, he's not capable of doing that.
But see, I disagree. I think he has shown he's a ball player. I think he has shown he can keep a team in. I think he is a gunslinger. I think sometimes
he's fearless.
It goes the opposite way, and you're like, oh, come on, Gardner. But there's a lot of times, you know, the Minshew magic where it's like, okay, I see what they believe. I just don't think he's an up and down roller coaster. He's not a steady guy, you know. Hence why I think people.
But he's not going to turtle up either.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, like he's gonna meet the situation head on. Absolutely. The one thing about the Raiders they have, and this pains me to say, their front seven, man, that front and that line is something serious. Like, and they've been something serious the last couple of years. I think they need to get a few more playmakers in that backside of the defense. I'm not really sold on their corners or safeties, but that's just me. They do a great job defensively, though. They keep their team normally within, you know, striking distance, which is what you're talking about the Chiefs. And Baltimore let him in. And, Minshew cooked up a few plays, and it made it happen.
Up next, we have the best excuse ever for not picking up a 3rd and long. Best excuse you've ever heard coming up on Sactown Sports.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated. And you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. We find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You guys got a new Honda? Well, it was like this. My mom was driving me to school when, damn, our car started smoking. My mom wasn't happy, so she called my dad and said, honey, if you value your life and our marriage, you'll take care of this now. So my dad calls up Stockton Honda and was like, can you get me approved for a new car and save my marriage? And they're all, sure, Mr. Jones, we do this every day. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue. StocktonHonda.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
It's not hard to be a mom. It's hard to be a good mom. It's easy to be a bad mom. That's so easy. But to be a good mom is hard. To be a bad mom, that's as easy as being a great dad. That's...
Nikki Glazer, Alive and Unwell Tour. Friday, September 20th. The venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. She's alive and unwell. Don't miss Nikki Glazer.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain. Dr. Pamela Maida is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too. Good Feet Youth Arch Supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain.
Investing in youth arch supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino's giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram off Business 80 next to Hagen Oaks or online sacsuperstore.com. Big inventory and the right deal. Experience it for yourself and see why their customers drive away smiling. It's the Sac Superstore difference.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Yeah, they lost yesterday. Minnesota Vikings off to a 2-0 start. Humiliating the 49ers, or at least bamboozling them 23-17. That's how the Minneapolis Star-Tribune described it. I'd agree with that. The Vikings bamboozled the 49ers yesterday. We were just talking about the Raiders coming off that big win. How about this, Jay? This week, the big Raider news today is that this week, the Raiders face, of course, Carolina, and they won't face Bryce Young. Bench today, the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton under center for the Panthers.
TCU stand up. Yeah, it's
and the line moved from, I think it was 7, came down 7, Raiders given 7, and now the Raiders are given, last I heard, 5.5.
Yeah.
Once the Dalton news came out, that line moved.
I got to check. Do you know where that game is being played? I haven't looked that far in advance. We can look that up. But, they threw Bryce Young to the Wolves, didn't they?
I guess so. But, that's what you do. But that's
you
what
guess,
you do.
huh?
That's what you do with quarterbacks now. You used to never do that, and now that's what you do.
Yeah, I think they threw him to the Wolves, White. They didn't do him no favors. I'll tell you that much. Looks like they're playing in Vegas. They're at the Allegiant Stadium. So go ahead and get your ticket and fly out of Stockton at Allegiant, For me, the Panthers didn't do Bryce Young any favors. I know C.J. Stroud was in the same position. I know Anthony Richardson are in the same position. But those teams are better. They're better equipped. They have better talent. They have more people to help around. They're second-year quarterbacks, but last year they're rookie quarterbacks.
Look at Caleb Williams this year. He's struggling.
Yeah, he's getting blasted. But look at the talent around him, though. Like, we have all pros around this guy, And Keenan Allen still ain't even got off the bench yet. So I just think the Panthers, like, if I told you right now, could you name 5, and I'm not putting you on the spot, I'm just saying, could you name 5 starting Panthers right now?
Not right now.
Right, and that's the thing. But if I asked you to name 5 Houston Texans, you probably could do it. If I asked you to name 5 Bears, you probably could do it, right? And so that's my point. Like, they didn't give him no shot. Like, he's trying to be the best that he possibly can with no talent around him.
Well, do you think this might be like a reset?
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
And it could be a humbling, like, career crusher. Like, you failed, go to the bench. Or is it a matter of, hey, we're going to reset here. Maybe, we could have helped you out more. We're gonna focus on that now.
Well, that's what I'm hoping it is.
There's so much to me where they failed him as an organization is there's so much turmoil. I mean, they changed their regime, the coaches, and everything 1 year in. That's tough on anybody, but especially a quarterback who's trying to understand how to keep his feet on the ground.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a reset button. It's not a you failed, we're done. I think it's too much money, too much time, too much effort. They gave away too many draft picks to, go for Bryce Young. Maybe it's one of those, we probably could have set you last year because they weren't going nowhere last year. And in all honesty, they're not going anywhere this year. They could have set him, put the Jordan Love approach, even though I know you don't have Aaron Rodgers in front of Bryce Young. But I thought they could have did that last year, especially after it got off to a slow start. Set him down, let him come in the last few weeks, get his feet wet, maybe bounce back this year. I thought there was a lot of pressure on Bryce Young. And to be honest, same C.J. Stroud, same Jaden Daniels, same J.J. McCarthy. I'm not saying, he shouldn't have some type of pressure. I just think a lot of those teams are well prepared and well equipped compared to Carolina. Triple Hubbard, like, no disrespect, I like Hubbard, but he ain't a top flight running back. Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen's long in the tooth, Jonathan Mingo. Like, it's not top end talent, man.
Part of it was the team drafts a guy and they're struggling to maintain credibility in the market. So it's like, well, this is our new guy. This is our new start. This is our savior. Here we go. And sometimes it's too much of it's driven by marketing too. Like, well, we're not sure he's ready. Well, he's got to be ready, and here you are. By the way, from the 209 on the text line, to Jay's point, I think Gardner is a little like Favre. There's a bit of risk versus reward gunslinger play. Brett threw plenty of picks, but sometimes the gamble's paid off big. I like Gardner Minshew more than I like Brett Favre, but let's slow down a little bit on that.
He's not as talented.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I get to the point of the 209, he's barking up the right tree. That's kind of where I'm going. He's a gunslinger. Yeah. He is a Ryan Fitzpatrick. He is he's Baker Mayfield.
He's like an old school Raider.
He is. He fits
like
in.
Like an old Oakland Raider.
Yeah, and you said it perfect. You were like, to me, he is a Raider.
Yeah.
Like he's that type of guy, but he's definitely, he's the Baker Mayfield, and he might not have that type of talent, but let's just go, last year or 2 years ago, Baker Mayfield, where he was trying to get his feet up under him. Now it feels like Baker's found a home and that's his squad. But I think that's kind of where Gardner is. He's going to win some games because he's going to wow you a few times. And then he's going to be like, man, what in the hell was that, Baker? Like he's that type of guy. Gardner, but he's that type of guy. I just think if you have something built around him, which they do, which is a great defense, a good defense, great defense. I don't know how you want to explain it or describe it. I think you're on to something. You're cooking. You have the safety net for Gardner.
Now, I'd never heard of this happening before. Apparently, the coach of the Green Bay Packers yesterday, the Packers taking on the Colts, and that was at Lambeau. And you got the quarterback, Malik Willis. And we talked about last week how he probably wasn't ready. He'd just gotten there about 3 weeks ago. Now he's a starter with Jordan Love going down. Anyway, yesterday, second quarter, Green Bay is facing 3rd and 10, and the ball snapped to Willis. 3rd and 10. Instead of throwing the football, he takes off and he runs and he gains 3 yards before he's tackled. And Matt LaFleur said he asked him, why didn't you throw the ball? Here's Matt LaFleur on what happened yesterday with Malik Willis.
I asked Malik why he didn't throw the ball on that 3rd down, and he told me that Josh threw up on the ball. I was like, that's the first time I've ever heard that. Matter of fact, the official came over to me, Sean came over to me and said, we saw your center thrown up on the ball. Do you want us to take him out next time? I said, absolutely, please do that, because you're talking about a critical situation, and it's 3rd down, and I've never had a throw with vomit on a football. So I don't know. I don't think Malik probably didn't appreciate that.
I'd never heard of that one.
Yeah, me either.
I think I would have been more inclined to throw it. Got rid of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the center said,
Josh Myers.
He was taking some electrolytes or something. He said, and I started feeling nauseous, but I just had to play through it. I can't worry about it. I got to worry about who I'm supposed to block.
That hard-nosed football right there, White. I couldn't have did it.
You couldn't have done which?
I took the ball and just spiked it.
I'd have maybe dropped a timeout there.
Really?
Yeah. But it was right. It looked like it was right as he was snapping. He just
liquid. Things happen, right?
Yeah. And then when you win, that's the type of thing. When you lose, it's like a disaster. Oh, it's a circus. But when you win, it's like, oh yeah, oh boy, never saw that happen before.
Yeah. The Colts played. To me, man, they let me down. They played bad.
They let me down too.
Yeah,
everybody let me down yesterday in the NFL.
That's okay. It happens, man. You can't always be right, Mr. Gleason.
I was not right very much at all. Do you know how many you got right?
I have not. I didn't calculate every single thing.
So I'm looking at like 3 and 10.
Really?
Yeah. I got hemorrhaging yesterday.
I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah. Man. I had the Giants. They were getting 1.5. They lose by 3 because they didn't have a kicker. They scored 3 touchdowns. They couldn't kick the extra point because their kicker pulled his hammy. He was already hurt, and I guess they figured, I'll be okay. Then he wasn't, and so anyway.
Bad decisions about a squad.
Yes.
Bring somebody else in to kick, man.
Right. You might need another kicker because your kicker pulled his hammy. We'll be fine.
we don't plan to score that much anyway.
Yeah. It's probably not going to be that busy anyway. All right, when we come back, why did the 49ers look so dumb yesterday? It's next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com.
Advanced Infusion Center, where we prioritize your comfort and well-being. Whether you're managing a chronic condition or seeking specialized IV therapy, our state-of-the-art center offers tailored solutions to meet your needs. Advanced Infusion Center's dedicated healthcare professionals are here to ensure your safety and provide personalized care. Conveniently located in Sacramento and Yuba City with flexible scheduling options. Experience a new standard in infusion therapy. Visit Advanced Infusion Center today at advancedinfusion.com.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered flex steel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Kyle Draper on assignment today. He'll probably check in tomorrow if his Eagles prevail tonight.
Oh,
which I would assume they would, but my predictions haven't been that accurate this NFL weekend. But Eagles against the Falcons, you gotta like Philly's chances there, Jay, right?
Yeah, Battle of the Birds.
Uh-huh.
Eagles probably a little more ferocious than a falcon, but I don't know my bird species that well.
Falcons defended well last week, holding the Steelers to 18-10.
Kirk Cousins struggling, per usual.
The Steelers are 2-0, and what was the score yesterday? They're not
16-13, I think.
Yeah, so they were 18-10 and 16-13. What year is this?
72. 13-6, excuse me, I had that all wrong.
So 18-10 and 13-6. 2-0.
Hey, getting it done.
Can they win that division? Can the Steelers win a division that includes the Browns, who, looked so bad in week 1, and then yesterday, hey, it's Deshaun Watson again, so they're 1-1.
Yeah.
Then the Bengals and the Ravens are both 0-2.
Yeah, I don't think they can win it. I just don't think they have the proper quarterback play. I know the Ravens are 0-2, but I'm still sticking with Lamar and company. I think their defense is too good, and I think Lamar will get it done too.
So even though they're 0-2, and I know the number that we had from Watkins and Stiles today, since 2020, Jay, 32 teams started 0-2. You got that since 2020. 32 teams started 0-2.
Mm-hmm.
Only 2 of them have made the playoffs.
It's interesting. Going against the numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
0-2 shouldn't be a death sentence.
No, especially the other part is 2020. You said from 2020.
From 2020, yeah.
Yeah. Last year we just picked up 17 games, so you got an extra game to play with too.
Right.
So I think that'll factor in something. But I'm not sold on the Bengals. I've always said I think Joe Burrow is definitely overrated. You can take it how you want to with that, that phrase, that statement. I'm definitely not sold on what the Browns are doing. They have a good defense. Offensively, I'm not sure exactly what they are. Steelers, yep, you got 2 games to play with on the Ravens. Their D is going to be good. The Steelers' D is going to be good. They're going to run the ball. They have 2 good running backs. Najee Harris, of course, Bay Area kid. I just don't know if you can win without throwing for 300 that many times.
It looks like maybe the league is changing a little bit.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to have
emphasis on running the ball.
They played the Broncos.
Yeah, they've played the Broncos and the Falcons. So.
Yeah, not 2 good teams, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not as familiar with the Steelers' schedule. I could take a look at it right now as we, skip around. But I mean, they play the Chargers at home. You're going to have to score more than 13 points to beat the Chargers at this point.
Yep.
The other thing that we know Jim Harbaugh and what the Chargers are showing, they're going to be physical. They're going to run the ball. They're going to slow down the game. Herbert.
That's not going to be a pretty game.
No, absolutely. Then you got the Colts. Now that's a winnable game at Indianapolis. Dallas, I think Dallas will beat them at home. One thing Dallas is going to do, and they didn't do that well, but they even scored 19 points yesterday, 18, something like that. Dallas is going to score 21 points. You're going to have to beat them with points. They play Vegas at Las Vegas, so that's a East Coast to West Coast. They got the Jets. Depends on how you feel about the Jets. The Giants, that's definitely a winnable game. At Washington, you got a shot, and then you start to get into, the division at Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Cleveland. You got at the Eagles, at Baltimore, Kansas City, Cincinnati. So it gets a little tougher down the road.
Just beat the Eagles. That's all I care about. Just do that, and I don't care what else you do. I think you and I both picked the Saints to win their division. I'm not sure.
We'll have to go back and look.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
So I think we both were thinking the Saints will be pretty good this year.
Yes.
But now what a lot of people are saying only 2 games in, and this is premature, but some people now are wondering, hey, they could win the division, but could the Saints be an actual contender to win the NFC? Do we have to consider them up there with the Lions and the Eagles and the 49ers and the Saints?
2 games, man. 2 games.
Yeah, they've dominated.
2 games, White.
Dominated.
2 games.
Cowboys and, Carolina.
1-2.
Dominated.
1-2.
There's only 15 games left.
2 games, man. I don't overreact to 2 games in anything.
Oh, so you're fine with the 49ers yesterday?
Of course. They lost.
23-17. Now they go to Minnesota. They never win in Minnesota.
They lose, man. I'm even keeled.
That's smart.
I'm not the person that's going to I didn't overreact last week when they jumped on the Jets, which I thought they would.
That's smart, but it's wrong in this case.
No problem. No problem. And that, as I said, I'll never tell a person how to fan. I'll never question your fandom. If you want to overreact, if you want to live, die, sweat, I've done it. I've been there. I see it. This rendition of the 49ers has shown me and proven to me they will have some weeks where you're going to be like, what in the hell is going on? I can't figure it out. And then they're going to go to Detroit, and I just use Detroit as an example. Somebody that's the top team, and they're going to blow their doors off, and everybody's going to react, oh, they're going to win a Super Bowl. Guess what? They haven't. So I'm not going to sit up here and cry about them losing to the Vikings. I'm not going to do it.
2 or 3 years ago, when at one point I think they were 4-5.
Yep.
And then they went
rattled off crazy.
Yeah.
They lost 3 games in a row last week. People were panicking.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my God, Jake Moody, Jake Moody's turned out to be pretty solid, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Make Moody. They call him.
Hey, come on now. Put some respect on his name.
Yesterday, the 49ers, not only did they lose, but they looked a little bewildered, befuddled. That's even what the Minneapolis Star-Tribune said they were bamboozled. Why were they bamboozled yesterday? Well, we know that Brock Purdy, after he congratulated Sam Darnold, he said to Brian Flores, he said his scheme is crazy, he said. Brock Purdy, to their defensive coordinator. Scheme is crazy. So Brock, who is one of the best in the NFL, no matter what you think of Brock Purdy, He's one of the best in the NFL at making reads quickly, at ascertaining what it is the defense wants him to do and what he needs to do to avoid that. And yesterday he struggled with that.
Yeah.
That combined with a pass rush that had the offensive line flustered, trying to figure out who's blitzing. Well, I thought he was coming. You got him. And so it added up to a frustrating loss for the Niners. Yeah, a game that they still could have won, but Brian Flores out-coached Kyle Shanahan yesterday. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to happen, Jay.
Well, again, I'll never tell Whitey Gleason out of how-to fans.
Well, tell me why I'm wrong.
Because it happens all the time.
Mm-hmm. Kyle Shanahan gets out
Absolutely.
all the time.
Absolutely. You just talked about Spagnuolo.
Mm-hmm.
Campbell had his pretty much Dan Campbell and company had had his number. It happens all the time, man.
Dan Campbell.
Cleveland was absolutely
himself.
Yeah. Well, he might be too smart for his own good too. Cleveland was running ruckshot around the 49ers last year. And I'm not talking about, I was the person that just said on the show, we're not talking about last year, but we only have a 2-game sample.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going back in the past and history. He outcoached himself in the Super Bowl, meaning Kyle Shanahan when he was with the Falcons. It happens. However you want to see it with Kyle Shanahan, and I know it's 3:00, so I'll go ahead and repeat myself because it's not 2:00, and my boss tells us to say this. It's a new time. He can be too smart for his own good sometime. Sometime, for whatever reason, you call it stubbornness, and I think that's a great word. He doesn't like to make adjustments. He plays his game, meaning Kyle Shanahan is still going to call his game, even if the game dictates that you need to get into hurry-up offense.
I think at times Kyle Shanahan is guilty of what I call scheme arrogance.
Yes.
It's like, my scheme is going to – it's fine. The scheme's going to carry the day. Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe he's not that good, but that's all right. Running my scheme. We'll be all right. Yesterday, I think maybe he was starting to question that a little bit. Maybe he's a little gun shy. Kyle Shanahan, because he was changing up. Throwing the ball 7 times on the first 8 plays. That's not 49er football.
But he's done it, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, 49er fans are calling out stuff that has happened.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did we say last year, man, stop throwing the ball and hand the ball off? And then vice versa. How many times do we need to stop handing the ball off and throw one time? Like, it happens. This is what Kyle Shanahan does. That's why you have his detractors, and I always bring up TC. I don't know what it is with Shanahan.
Do you think it's a problem that has hampered them from getting a Super Bowl win? And if that's true, do you think it's something that could keep them from ever winning one?
Maybe. As Drake's always like to say,
I don't want to believe
you're
that.
not a winner till you win one. I'm not sure. I would say it hasn't been all Shanahan in Super Bowl situations when they've had opportunity. It wasn't Shanahan who dropped the ball, Jaquaski Tart. That wasn't a Kyle Shanahan thing.
Nope.
Richard Sherman giving up the draws. That wasn't Kyle Shanahan's situation. He called up, and it wasn't his call, but that was a great call. They even had overtop safety help. He got beat. He beat Jimmy Ward and company. That's not a Shanahan thing. I'm just saying Kyle has some lapses in his game that has happened year after year. I don't understand why this is surprising 49er fans. You guys must not be watching a game then.
It's he's smart. We know that. I think even his detractors would admit he's smart. When you're smart, typically you learn from your mistakes. But there's times when it seems like he's not interested in learning from his mistakes.
Yeah, which is hence why I said I think you're spot on. Right? I really think you are. I don't know what to call it. That's why we try to throw 2-3 things at the board. But I think if we just want to label something, it's stubbornness.
But I do think they missed Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, absolutely.
Just look at yesterday.
Absolutely.
Minnesota, how much simpler. And yeah, they have crazy schemes. Brian Flores does. And they're really good at, it's funny. It's a basic thing. What's a good skill for defenders to have? It's useful to be good tacklers.
Yeah.
We kind of take that for granted.
Yeah.
And there aren't as many good tacklers as you'd think, but the Vikings have a lot of really good tacklers.
Yeah, they do. You know, and it brings the forefront for me. I think as much as CMC is the person that's being missed, I think Talanoa Hufanga is a huge guy for the 49ers, and you can see some of the weakness. And, you saw it on this past weekend. The Vikings attacked that right side, which is where Huff would be. You would put the strong safety. You'd push Jair Brown probably over, which is interesting to me because when you really look at the 49ers, Whitey, like who's the strong and who's the free safety right now? Can you decipher who that person is for me? Because I don't know.
I don't think Odom's a strong safety.
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, they tend to use him as a strong safety. Like he's the person who's coming up and covering people. Like, why is he covering? Why is your strong safety covering Justin Jefferson? Because Huff wouldn't be covering him.
Then you get back to Nick Sorensen again. You know, I think maybe we were, when I say we, I mean 49er fans. After a while, you take it for granted that the defense is going to be that good. It's like, well, Robert Sala's really good, and then D'Amico, and you know, they're great too. Maybe it's not the coordinator so much. And then after those guys are gone, and you realize, ooh, I think some of it was the coordinators.
Yeah,
you know, Steve Wilks struggled, but it wasn't all we saw yesterday. That wasn't Steve Wilks' fault yesterday.
No, absolutely. That was definitely some other different calls because Steve Wilks is not even in the 49er uniform. I truly think D'Amico was the creme de la creme, and he's showing it over at the Texans. One thing about D'Amico that a lot of people, for whatever reason, let slip under the rug, he made adjustments. He came out with his game plan first half, but as the game went on and different situations arose and things needed to be dictated, he kind of maneuvered. He maneuvered his game plan around that, and I think that's something Shanahan detractors continue to ask for. And you look up on the text line, Kyle Shanahan should go coach the Cowboys. Well, I don't know about all that. They're perfect for each other. A couple of regular season darlings and big game chokers. Ooh. How many more playoff games do Kyle have to lose before fans get it? I guess a couple of more. Oh, well, that's a 49er fan. And let me give that hopefully that's a 49er fan that from the 916. Let me give them credit because I think that's a true and honest 49er fan, which is where I try to be, which is what I'm saying is I'm not going to wear the rose-colored glasses and not be honest. Shanahan chokes a lot, if that's what you want to call it. Now, I'm using that 916, the texter's word. I just think he's stubborn, and I think that's where you're spot on. He has some things, Whitey, that for whatever reason, he's not going to change, or I want to say never because you can, but he seems to not want to change during games.
Real quick here, we'll get back to football in a moment. You mentioned choking. Dr. Strong on Twitter sent me this. Sent it to Kyle, sent it to Dave. This is a tweet from Scientific American, and they're talking about some study they did, Jay. Bear with me here. It says Scientific American. Study links choking under pressure to the brain region that controls movement. Okay. And there's a picture that accompanies that, and it's a picture of the Sacramento Kings.
Are you serious?
Yes. What is that?
Man, is there a name on that article?
We'll get you more details, and we'll come back with an answer to this question or this view from Jay Woods. I just feel like it was the players more than the coaches yesterday. Is that true? Next, Sactown Sports.
Have you heard you can listen to your favorite news podcasts ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Enjoy shows like The Daily, Up First, and Consider This, available ad-free on Amazon Music. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free. That's amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Hey, this is Greg Pop-Up. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
just because you got, really good players and good scheme doesn't mean the other team's going to give it to you. You have to go out and earn it. So we've had to learn that, the first 2 games of the season. So hopefully we can be better next week.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916 Sactown Sports.
The great Brock Purdy. So the first 2 games of the season, they did pretty well last week. Strive Guys here. We'll get back to the NFL Sunday and the NFL Monday in just a moment with you till 4:30 today. Then we'll be bringing you the Eagles and the Falcons on Sactown Sports. But Jay was just talking about choking, and I mentioned this piece from scientificandamerican.com. Brain really does choke under pressure. Study links choking under pressure to the brain region that controls movement. I'm mentioning this because there's a picture accompanying this article, this piece here at the scientificandamerican.com, and they show the Sacramento Kings. Jay, come on.
I know. It's disrespectful in these streets, man.
And they show Isaiah Thomas.
It is disrespectful in these streets.
Yes.
I tell you that much, man. If
Thank
I'm
you, Dr. Strong, for bringing that to our attention.
If I'm the Sacramento Kings and someone brings that to my attention, I'm probably calling them. Keep my name out your mouth. Keep my name out your mouth.
Whose picture would you show if you were in charge? Hey, Jay, we're doing this piece, Scientific American on choking. Just need an appropriate picture of someone in sport. Doesn't matter who. We just need you to pick someone appropriate.
Just
so people,
anyone.
People will see it and they'll go, oh, yeah, that guy's a choke artist or whatever.
I'd probably Draymond choking Rudy Gobert. Dude is the epitome of choking somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably my guy.
I hate to say it, I'd probably, and this going back a ways, but I might show like Scott Norwood or somebody,
Okay.
But I mean,
Buffalo
that's
Bill
like,
style.
Hey,
yeah,
he missed a big kick.
Yeah, I could say that.
I wouldn't show
could see
Isaiah
that.
Thomas.
No, disrespectful to IT. Friend of the show. You can't do that to IT.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said if I'm the Kings, and this goes back to painting a narrative and want you to change the narrative. If I'm a Sacramento King person, if I'm working for the organization and I see that, man, I'm getting somebody on the phone over there.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you, man? I don't care if you pay for the Getty image or not. Don't ever do that again.
You really would do that.
I would.
You might do it anyway.
Yeah, I would almost. Yeah, pretty much. Because there is something. Look, perception is reality. We hear that so many times. And if you don't win, and if you don't stick up for yourself because you're not a winner, because there are people who are winners who just haven't won for whatever situation. I know that sounds contradictory, but there are people like Charles Barkley's a winner. Can't tell me he's not. Dude's been successful in just about everything he's done in life.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't win a championship for whatever reason, whatever you want to call it. But there's also this too, right, on the opposite side. If you want to change a narrative, it has to begin somewhere. The Sacramento Kings have done somewhat of winning on the court, but I'm trying to change everything. I'm changing everything, Whitey. If I want to win,
you're trying to change the perception.
Yes, and that's
outside perception.
That goes for, but this the thing that also goes inside too. Because guess what happened? If I'm a player, if I'm somebody that's inside that organization, and let's just say this because we know it's going to come out. A person picks up. I don't know. I don't want to throw on the name from the Sacramento Kings. Let's just say a vice president. They got a numerous amount of vice presidents. They pick up the phone. They call the sports scientist and say, "Big dog or young lady, don't ever do that again. Don't ever put IT, a top 25 guy who was just voted on the Drive Guys, a top 40 guy of all time, someone who has always had the odds stacked against them, IT, 6 foot, made it to the league, and you calling this dude a choker?"
I'm sure what they would say is, oh, no, it was just a good picture we had of an athlete who's frustrated.
Guess what?
But then, so if I'm with the organization, Jay, and you call me, I'm saying, all right, well, whose picture should we use? And that gets back to the question.
No problem.
Would Kyle Shanahan's picture be appropriate?
Some people could argue yes.
But what do you say?
No,
I say not yet.
Yeah, no, not there. But this is the point. It would fire me up if I'm part of the Kings organization, because guess what's going to happen? It's going to get out. Someone's going to put that on social network. Oh, the sports scientist. Oh, my goodness. We got a phone call from one of the vice presidents over at the G1C, and the King said, you better not use our picture. Right? Absolutely. And if I hear that, I'm fired up. That's changing the narrative inside and outside. That's letting people know here within this G1C, we want winners. We're moving toward being champions.
I think that starts, and they've already started it with that word that's way overused, but there is something to it when it's done right, and that's culture. And I remember when Bill Walsh first went to the 49ers. The 49ers had never even been to a Super Bowl. Super Bowl hadn't been around that long, and they were not very good. And Bill Walsh built a culture from the top down, and he was one of the first guys to call it that. And his plan was everybody in the organization, everybody, Joan and payroll, the public address announcer, everybody has to be understanding what our goals are and what we're trying to accomplish. And we have to all be trying to do it the same way. And that's a successful culture. Obviously, the 49ers built that. And I think the Kings are making great strides in doing that as well.
Yeah.
Since Mike Brown's been there and since Monty's been there.
And this would just be one of the notches in your belt. This would be one of the pegs in the bridge.
But you have to win at some point. Culture's fine. But if you're not winning, it only means so much.
Very true. But I think that's part of creating a winning atmosphere is also coming in and saying we will not stand for that. Yeah.
Allowing your players to
feel that way, right? Yeah, but there's no way I'm allowing that. You wouldn't put that up there for the Warriors, right? That's what I'm picking up the phone. That's probably not a great metaphor because they won championships. But pick any team who hasn't won a championship. Minnesota Timberwolves. Why don't you put one of them cats up there? Where's the OKC? They choked. They lost in the finals. Throw up them type of guys. Where's the Orlando Magic? They ain't won nothing.
Yeah.
So that's my point is not only did you disrespect me as an organization, but you also disrespected Isaiah Thomas, who's had the cards stacked against him all his life. He's told those stories. And how's this dude not been a winner? How dare you? Matter of fact, I should send me that link.
I will.
Let me send that to IT.
And I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but I would guarantee you what they will say is, oh, it's just a picture of someone frustrated. We weren't implying anything.
Well, then you shouldn't be in the business of sports, then, big fella.
No, I understand what you're saying. It's like you wouldn't do that you wouldn't have, a frustrated Shaq there, would you?
Nah, IT. Yeah. Disrespecting the great Isaiah Thomas.
Now, what do you think of this on the chat from Jay Woods? The Niners, he says, I just felt like it was the players more than the coaches.
I can see that.
Yes, to me, it was the coaching.
And see, I think
Brian Flores ran circles.
Yeah, but I think you're taking the low-hanging fruit. And I respect what Jay Woods is doing. I respect him because it ain't got nothing to do with Shavarius Ward and Jair Brown not knowing who to cover on trips to the right 4 or 5 times. That ain't got nothing to do with a scheme.
Told you. But how do we approach trips?
Yeah, man.
We don't know.
Okay. Well, then guess what that means? That's not bad scheming. That's bad coaching.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
But you know what bad coaching means? Then you got the wrong players. You should have recognized your players can't recognize when the trip's to the right. I could tell you 5 times. Maybe I could tell you 5 things wrong, but they did 5 different things wrong, though. It's like they didn't do the same thing over and over. There were a couple times they tried to pass off. Then they played zone. I give you that. That's coaching. But there was a few times it was man to man, and they were they were confused. The players were confused.
The other thing is that it's 23-17. So like I said, you look at that. Watching the game, it's like, 49ers could have won this game. But, and you made this point, 23-17, yeah. But if not for Fred Warner, I don't even want to think about what the score would be.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, Fred's a beast.
One of them at the freaking goal line.
Oh, man, dude should be an X-Man at this point. Like Fred was
like
balling.
Wolverine. He comes and wraps you up, and then whoosh, the claws come out, and whoop, there goes the ball.
Yeah, that
he
punch
got really good at that.
That punch, that punch is something severe that he's putting on a lot of opponents. Yeah, Fred. I said this yesterday, and I stand by it. I think he single-handedly kept the 49ers in, albeit there's 11 guys on the field, but he was making plays. The stab, the interception, that's a stab. That's not a horrific throw. That's Fred making a play. The fumble was Fred making a play.
Speaking of the Kings, as we're going to turn our attention back to them. The Kings are working out more veterans this week, and they also made a very exciting announcement today. More on the Kings on this NFL Monday with the Drive Guys next. Sactown Sports.
When it comes to fighting for families and protecting kids, no one works harder than our Assemblyman, Josh Hoover. A member of the Bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus, Hoover has worked across party lines and proposed tougher penalties for fentanyl crimes, stricter sentences for drug trafficking near schools, and RILA's law to make sure anyone who abuses a child is held accountable. A former school board member, Josh has fought to support school police officers,
prohibit homeless encampments near schools, and increase funding for school facilities. Josh Hoover knows that families have been paying more for everything from gas and groceries to utilities and insurance. In the Assembly, Josh is working to provide relief to families, reduce the cost of housing, and stop Gavin Newsom from raising gas prices even more next year. Josh Hoover is making a difference for our families, our community, and our future. Our voice, our Assemblyman, Josh Hoover.
Paid for by Hoover for Assembly 2024.
Mega Chevy saves you $12,500 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado High Country in stock after rebates. All of them.
Silverado savings spectacular now at MegaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. Ends 5/30/24.
Get in on the action at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. With over 80 table games, more than 2,100 slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room, you'll enjoy a casino experience on a whole new level. Visit SkyRiver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
The last 6 Sacramento Rivercats games of the 25th anniversary season are packed with promotions and theme nights. Join us for Hispanic Heritage Night on September 17th, the Rivercats Golfer Hat Giveaway on September 20th, our inaugural Harry Potter Night on September 21st, and cap off the homestand with Fan Appreciation Day for the final game of the season on Sunday, September 22nd. Make your way to the ballpark for a farewell to the Rivercats of 2024. Visit rivercats.com to purchase tickets today.
Toyota's legendary truck event is on, and the deals are legendary. Get $2,000 cash back on any 2024 Tundra, or get a great lease on a new 2024 Tacoma 4x4. Get to your Toyota dealer now, because this truck event is gonna be Toyota. Let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Ends 9/30/24.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Not another tape.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
So, Jay, you being the honorary mayor of the City of Trees, how do you celebrate 916 Day?
Oh, it's big time, baby.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. The commissioner. I think that's what I'm going with. The commissioner of the City of Trees.
I got you.
Yeah. You know, I don't want to step on the mayor's toes.
Right.
And let me ask you something. Give me some advice here, White. Does the mayor or the commissioner have to do more?
The mayor has to do more, but the commissioner is more honored.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm going that way. I'm the commissioner of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I saw this on the Rivercats. I was perusing my email this morning, and they got the fresh new 916 hats. So I was looking at them. I wasn't the biggest fan of them this year. But I try and support everybody. Right. So I know the Kings have dropped some. I haven't had the opportunity to look that way as being a parent, called me to be a parent today. But, I like to support the 916 companies. If you are mom and pops and, hats, shirts, all that type of stuff. Shouts out to Brickhouse Industries, my guy Jim over there. Like, I like to support that type of stuff. Man, put it in our text line. I'm looking for some new 916 gear this year, man. How about yourself, White? Are you intertwined? And I know you're Valley Joe, V-Town Valley.
Yeah, I've been here a long time.
I got
been
you.
here longer than I was in Vallejo, I think. Yeah.
Really?
By the way,
you done the math?
No, math's too hard. I'll get back to you. Is that official? So are you the commissioner?
I'm the commissioner, baby.
Okay, so not the mayor anymore. Okay.
Yeah, I'm the commissioner.
All right.
I've been thinking
basically
about that.
that's a promotion.
Is it?
I think so.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I like it.
So 916 Day, and that's the day the Kings officially unveil their classic edition uniforms, because it's, as you know, Jay, because we've been doing the 40 top Kings of 40 years of Kings basketball. They unveiled the 40th season logo, and they've got the 2024-25 classic edition uniforms unveiled today. Really nice, clever video with Doug Christie and Mike Bibby.
Yeah.
Purple uniforms, almost identical to what Mike Bibby wore with the franchise from 2002 to 2008. You got the arched Sacramento word mark above off-center numbers, black and white side panels on the jerseys and shorts, which have the 94-2014 secondary logo on the right leg. I know some people of a certain age, like Frankie, for example, on Twitter, Frankie Cardasset is like, oh, it's like I'm a kid again. I love these uniforms. So
you're a kid. I was Frankie.
Very well received.
I was Frankie. Yeah. Is he 30 yet?
I don't think so.
Nah, I mean, you're a kid.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you happy about it? You excited? You anything? Does it move the needle?
I don't want to say, because I don't want to rain on anybody's parade, and everyone loves it, so it's great.
Yep.
So the Kings know what they're doing because most people love it. There were other uniforms. I like the black uniforms that they had.
Yeah.
You know, I thought they were, and that was, it seemed to kind of sync up to when the Kings became actually a more substantial, in some ways, menacing team when they wore those black jerseys. So I like those, but these are, I get it. I mean, that's the greatest era in Kings basketball.
Yeah.
It's just not the one I would have picked, but
I'm with you. I prefer the black, but I do like the purple. I thought the commercial, the advertisement, whatever.
Oh yeah.
I thought they were spot on.
Yes.
Like, for me, this is gonna sound, take it how you want to. I thought this was one of the best pieces I've seen Sacramento Kings digital team do. I truly thought, it's like, man, that's nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
When you get the type of reaction, if you look around social network that they've gotten, I just thought it was spot on. I was like, man, they couldn't have did that any better. I don't think any other way they could have did it.
Unpacking them, putting them on, and
he's like in the garage.
Yeah, he and Bibby are in the driveway.
Yep, shooting, passing it, going back and forth. You even seen the cameo by Mrs. Christie. Jackie jumped in there, kind of did her little social network thing. They did like a fake PC press conference where they're at the podium talking about it. I thought it was dope, man. I really thought that was one of the best pieces I've seen the Kings put out as a digital team.
My understanding, Mr. Commissioner, is that the Kings are also going to be wearing new classic edition uniforms. Well, that's the classic edition. Pardon me. There's a City Connect, I believe, a new City Connect they're going to wear
every year, right? Isn't there one every year? I haven't seen it.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's been revealed. I haven't even gotten the inside scoop on it yet. Like, someone's keeping this. Normally, we're privy to this information, and for whatever reason, we kind of see these things. A lot of people talked about Bibby. Was that last week when he was on social network and posted it? And people were like, oh, he must be.
He kind of leaked it.
Yeah, he leaked the situation.
Earlier this month.
Was that last week or 2 weeks ago? Okay. Yeah, so I think a lot of people kind of were looking forward to this being official. And it probably was the day they shot the, this promo advertisement or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed the video. I enjoyed the jersey. I'm actually thinking about getting one.
Nice.
Yeah. Dropping October 1st, correct?
Let's see. They're going to wear them 8 times: November 24th, November 25th, December 19th, December 21st.
Yeah, I think it drops October 1st.
Okay. Well, that's when it's available to you?
Yeah, to the public.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm talking about when they're wearing it. That's a totally different thing. Yeah. They're going to wear them 8 times this season. So,
yeah, yes. October 1st. Mm-hmm. You can get it while it lasts.
Mm-hmm. They're going to be popular.
If there's one, this is me. I'm getting a retro throwback. What about yourself? If you have the opportunity to get the, City Connect joints.
I want to see what the new ones look like.
Okay. With the Nike logo.
Yeah, with the whatever the City Connect's.
Yeah. Got you.
Yeah. I would, if it were me, I'd probably get like an old Kansas City Kings jersey or something.
Oh man, here we go.
Yeah.
Jerry Lucas,
Cincinnati Royals. Sign me up.
I got you.
So that was interesting news today. And again, they're going to wear them, as I said, 8 times this season against the Nets on November 24th, Thunder November 25th, Lakers December 19th and 21st, Pacers on the 22nd of December, Wizards on January 19th, Warriors on January 22nd, and the Charlotte Hornets on February 24th. Kings also working out some veterans this week, Jay. TJ Warren going to be working out this week along. We mentioned Jae Crowder. We knew about him, and Nassir Little in this week for work.
Nassir Little. Yeah, that's a good name. I saw that name a little earlier and thought it. I'm still a Jae Crowder fan. I'm going that route.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's I'd like to see him. One of the things he is we talk about, he's a dog, right?
Yes.
So I'd like to see that out of the 3 if they were signed a veteran. I'm not sure what they're doing, but obviously they're looking for something.
To me, it's almost a Moneyball philosophy, whereas you're looking for a guy who is available now because of circumstances, and he's worth more than you'd have to pay him. But this is where it is. So you've got the chance to take advantage of an inefficiency in the market.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can get one of those 3 guys, if you really like him, he's a good fit, he can still play for very little money. I mean, jump on that.
Any of those 3 move the needle for you?
Well, it just depends. I'm with you on Jae Crowder. Like I said last week with Drapes, I don't know why you wouldn't sign him. And he said, well, it depends. He may not want a reduced role.
Yeah.
TJ Warren was phenomenal in the bubble, but he hurt his foot. So can he go?
Yeah. He's been banged up.
I know Nassir Little has a lot of teams looking at him. I'd prefer TJ Warren or Jae Crowder because they're a little bigger.
Okay. Yeah, I think Crowder just because the physicality. That's one thing Mike Brown always says. Feel like every pre or post conference, he's talking about physicality. I think Jay kind of fits that mold about being physical and bring something to the 49ers, a little nastiness, a little attitude. Something that I think not the 49ers, the Kings need.
Yeah, you said 49ers because Jay just texted me this. Perhaps you've seen this from Adam Schefter.
Yeah.
Deebo Samuel strained his calf yesterday and is expected to miss a couple of weeks, according to Kyle Shanahan.
I tell you.
Now, tell me again why yesterday. It doesn't matter. They lost. No big deal.
Doesn't. I mean, fact of the matter is that I hate to say it, and I continuously say this about this team. We've talked about what can bring this team down. Injuries. Happens to the 49ers all the time. I don't know what it is. I've even gone as far as saying what on this show, Whitey, is maybe they need to look at the training room, the doctors, the people who are the nutritionists. I don't know what
they've been trying to figure it out.
They have
since before they were any good, because even before 2019, they still suffered an inordinate number of injuries.
It seems that way every year,
Mm-hmm.
And it now the pressure and starts to become because now you got no Tricky Ricky P. So we know, he's not going to be around. We know CMC. We know Debo's going to be out a week or two. These, excuse me. These are some of the things that I always expect for the 49ers. I wasn't thinking week 2 though.
Right. And, fingers crossed, but strained calf, expected to miss a couple of weeks. We know how those things can linger. You think, CMC had the calf, turned out to be an Achilles. There's no reason to assume it's anything like that. But this year, just when it looked like they got over the hump, they came through all of the turmoil and the drama of the preseason, and they destroyed the Jets. Even without CMC, they're back on track. Now what happens? They go to Minnesota. They get bamboozled by the Vikings, and they lose Debo for a couple of weeks. Oh, this season's a lot of fun, isn't it? It's just a fun 49ers season.
Man. Week 2.
It's not a good start.
It's okay. It's average.
You've lost now. You're one guy who maybe in some ways could
replace
CMC.
Well,
now he's out.
But this is the thing. Just this past week, we've been singing Jordan Mason's praises. He had a good game.
I love Jordan Mason.
Ran for triple digits again.
Right. But he's not much of a threat in the passing game. And apparently that makes it a lot easier to defend them. And also, if you're going to throw the ball 7 times and not give the ball to Jordan Mason, what good is it to have them there if they're not going to give the ball?
That's not a Debo thing. That's a Kyle Shanahan thing. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Are you panicking?
No.
Sounds like you're panicking.
I'm not
there,
panicking,
Whitey.
but it's very discouraging.
Okay.
I think it's just,
I like that.
and just think what Draper would say if he were here.
Well, he's not. Thank the Lord.
Think of it.
Yeah,
Yes.
we are getting a few. We get to take a few deep breaths without Draper being here, and then tomorrow we'll be able to, cooler heads will be able to prevail. I'm not sure when Draper comes back this week, but cooler heads prevail. Let's get it together now,
right?
Before Draper comes back and leans back in the chair and we have to hear him talking about. And actually, we need a Falcons win this week, because if we get a Falcons win, and
let's go, Kirk
we want to hear
Cousins. You
too
like
much.
that? Yeah, I would like that. All right, to summarize, Kings unveiling the new Classic Edition uniforms. You like those? You might get one.
Yes.
Right?
October 1st, the drop.
Mm-hmm. TJ Warren, Jae Crowder, Nassir Little. You like Jae Crowder still? He's your number one guy?
He's a dog.
Uh-huh. And Debo going to miss, expected to miss a couple of weeks with a strained calf. And Jay says, that's all right.
Well,
is that what you said?
I'm not saying it's, let me rephrase it here. What I'm saying is to be expected.
Okay.
Maybe not this early, but
we'll get the latest on that. Also, which 0-2 teams in the most trouble next with the Drive Guys? Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Partly cloudy Monday night in the valley. Temperatures drop into the mid-50s. Tuesday will be a little brighter compared to the start of the week, with afternoon highs in the mid-70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
DC here for Folsom Lake Kia, where they make car shopping easy with a huge selection of new Kia models, low payments, and zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, your trusted dealer in Folsom for over 25 years. FolsomLakeKia.com.
Even in a broken Washington, one person delivers results. Our Congressman Kevin Kiley. Working across party lines, Kevin Kiley has helped pass bipartisan bills to lower prices for gas, groceries, and utilities, provide tax relief for the victims of recent wildfires and storms, and to protect Lake Tahoe today and for future generations. Kiley has secured millions of federal dollars to ease traffic on our roads, expand our water supply, and protect our homes and communities from wildfires. And because he believes public safety comes first, Kevin Kiley is working to crack down on repeat offenders, retail thieves, and fentanyl dealers who prey on our youth. Kevin Kiley is always ready to work across party lines to get things done, and never afraid to take on the establishment in Washington or Sacramento when that's what's needed to protect our quality of life. Delivering results. That's Kevin Kiley. Let's keep him working for us.
I'm Kevin Kiley, and I approve this message. Paid for by Kevin Kiley for Congress.
For most of the people that walk in our store, it's been an ongoing, nonstop issue, and they're finally walking into the Good Feet store. Okay, the guy that came into my store last year that has had plantar fasciitis for 30 years. I looked at him, I said, "Are you kidding me? I've been here for 14. Where have you been?" I helped relieve a problem that's plagued him for 30 years. I mean, how do you not go home and talk about that?
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee. I want to close your eyes for this. Tyler Rich. Dasha. And more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Nobody knows. We're dealing with tendonitis, so there's not one person knows. He doesn't know. We don't know. We can take it day by day. By putting him on IR, it's at least 4 weeks. So That'll give him some time to rest and kind of protect him from himself, us too. And no matter how he's feeling, it's 4 at the minimum.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916, Sactown Sports.
Yeah, what's left of 49er football. Sorry, it was a tough loss yesterday. We just got some discouraging 49er injury news. CMC, of course, on the injured reserve. It's interesting the way the 49ers phrase it. Some of it is we're protecting him from himself. Like he just needs to sit down and rest. He can't play through this. But now, just moments ago, Kyle Shanahan telling the media that Christian McCaffrey is not the only key 49er with a calf issue. Deebo Samuel strained a calf yesterday, and he is expected now to miss a few weeks. So it's a tough one, Jay.
Yeah.
Again, it just looks like, wow, things are just not going the Niners' way right now. Of course, you have Ricky Pierce will be nice to have right now, and can't have him because he got shot. So it's just a lot of things that seem like they're not going the 49ers' way. It's frustrating.
Yeah, but what if they come out and win? Then what do you say? Come out and beat the Rams next week. What do you say?
Oh, they better beat the Rams, right? And the Rams are terrible right now.
Man, how is it? Like, there's only a few teams that are absolutely terrible through 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to say the Panthers are terrible, I'll give you that.
Look, I was dumb enough to pick the Rams yesterday.
Giants are terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah. Well, they're just the whole left side of the offensive line is out. Puka's out.
Yeah.
I know you picked the Cardinals
Cooper
last
Kupp's
week.
done.
We made the picks. You said, I don't like Arizona a lot in this game.
Yeah.
You were right. So, yeah, you're right.
So the Rams are terrible. Okay. They're 13.
Right, they have been.
Yeah.
So my point is it's the NFL, so, who knows. But I don't think beating the Rams is really going to make 49er fans feel a lot better about things, because all of a sudden it's like now you're just hoping that Deebo is able to recover from this and at some point in the foreseeable future be Deebo again, and the same with Christian McCaffrey. That's one of the things that to me was alarming about yesterday, for all the angst and the gnashing of teeth and the pulling of hair. It's like, wow, they really did miss him yesterday.
CMC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Week one, it's like, oh, he's terrific, but boy, Jordan Mason's great. But just the dimension that CMC brings, it made it so much easier for Minnesota to scheme for the Niners yesterday, and that was a little unsettling.
Yeah, I get it, and I can understand. You got the Rams, you got the Patriots. I think the third game would be the Cardinals, right? Yeah, Rams, Patriots. It's Cardinals because they got Seahawks after that. So you should be able to still beat the Rams and the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals? To say Kyler Murray gives the 49ers fits for whatever reason. He's just mobile. The mobility of what Kyler Murray does for the 49ers. I don't know why they can't seem to get a grasp on it the way he plays. And they normally beat him, but there's been some times where Kyler has beaten the 49ers or single-handedly kept them into the season. What I'm focused on is getting these wins however you can get it, meaning the Rams and the Patriots. Now, if Deebo's not returned back for the Seahawks, you'll start to see a little bit of more Jay frustration as I speak in third person, because then you're talking about Seahawks, Chiefs, those two games, and I can't remember who's after that, but that's where I'm going to start to get a little panic, where it's like, okay, wait a minute. Right now, everything for me, and I'm not telling anybody how to fan, it's week 2. You got there's going to be some weeks where you mess up. There's going to be some weeks where, things don't operate. And I know, we've seen it with the 49ers. I go back to the 3-game losing streak last year. Everybody was hurt. Mm-hmm. Every single person was hurt. That meant something, minus Jawan Jennings, it felt like. And, they got smacked three games in a row. I think the 49ers just have to figure out that they're a better team and come out and play a little bit better. Shanahan needs to be a little bit better. It looks like Sorensen needs to be a little bit better. I'm not panicked yet. I can understand your frustration. I can understand your unsettling, though.
Yeah. Here's from Trey. Says, yesterday's game will be a great lesson for Sorensen. Didn't make the necessary adjustments when in the fire. Let's see how he moves forward. After learning his lesson, the Niners will be fine. To answer your question about the 49ers schedule, as you said, you got the Rams this week, then you got
Patriots at home. Right? Yeah.
Seahawks. Then you got the Cardinals at home. Then you got Seahawks. You go up there. You play next, Jay? You play next, Jay?
Chiefs, Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember after that, though.
Buccaneers, and then the Seahawks again, then the Packers. Then
that's
the
it
Bills.
right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a gauntlet.
Yeah, that's it. That's where if Deebo is not back come Seahawks week, Because now
that's a Thursday night game, by the way.
Seems, which makes it even worse because you don't get the extra couple days.
You play the Cardinals
Debo.
on the 6th, Sunday, and then you play that Thursday. You're going to visit in Seattle.
Yeah, like that.
2 divisional games.
That's the one for me. I need Debo back by then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not too unsettled for them to go in and beat the Rams in LA and then beat the Patriots, who are coming from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. You gotta win those 2 games.
Mm-hmm. From the 530, Josh Dobbs will save the 49ers.
Sounds good to me.
I wouldn't mind it.
However you want to call it.
So Debo, is going to miss a few weeks, and we'll find out more. We don't know what grade strain it is. Maybe they don't even know yet. But all of a sudden, for the 49ers, at the very least, Jay, wouldn't you say that the division, winning the division, feels a lot less certain right now than it did Friday?
No. Because the Rams are 0-2, the Cardinals are 1-1, and the Seahawks barely scraped by at OT. Nah. But that's me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not you. That's not other 49er fans who seem to be panicked. I'm not going to sit up here and be like, oh, well, everything's going to be all right. No, but I also understand the dynamic of this team. And if you don't think Debo was going to miss any games, you were fooling yourself. If you don't think Trent Williams is going to miss some games, you're fooling yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't think CMC was going to miss, and this is the thing I said about McCaffrey, the 49ers have been absolutely lucky. This dude misses 4 to 6 games every year almost.
The 49ers have the worst calf coaches in the league, do they not?
Achilles and calf.
What is going on?
And hamstring issues.
Guys, it's leg day.
Yes.
You're supposed to actually do the work. You can't just go home.
Don't have the wheelchair bodies.
Which 0-2 team is in the most trouble, in your opinion, Mr. Commissioner? Ravens, Bengals, Jags, Titans, Colts, Broncos, Giants, Panthers, Rams.
Panthers and Broncos. Panthers are already changing quarterbacks. Broncos, they've already attached themselves just like the Panthers did last year to a rookie. They really haven't done anything else to help these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you look at Bo Nix and it's like, what else is around him? When it comes to a full squad, like he's got some weapons, Cortland Sutton, he's got a few guys around him, but in reality, if you're going,
that's the guy that the 49ers wanted to get, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're talking about for a 3rd round draft pick. One thing I can say with the Steelers are, if nothing else, if your quarterback position is going to be weak or has some questions or whatever, we're going to give you good running backs, maybe great, depending on who you ask, and we're going to give you a fantastic defense that's going to keep you in every single game, a la what the Raiders have done the last few years. I don't know what, Sean Payton and the Broncos were seeing. I don't know what the Panthers were thinking. So those 2 would be mine.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to say the Rams, right?
Rams will beat the 49ers. They're not starting 0-3, says somebody from the 530.
I can dig it.
I wouldn't say the teams you said. I agree with you. But to me, they didn't have a lot of hope coming into this year.
Okay.
So it's like, they're going to be terrible. Maybe they were in almost tanking. I don't think the expectations were high. So to me, the team that's in more trouble, I think we agree the Ravens are probably going to right the ship. I think everybody would say that. Bengals, and I think the Jags are in a heap of trouble.
Yes.
And I know you were with me on saying that,
Yes.
that the Colts might surprise this year.
Yeah, I thought they would. The defense didn't play very well this past weekend. I really like Anthony Richardson, but he's still got a learning curve. He didn't play all last season because he got injured.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense, though,
they don't really stop the run.
Yeah, I don't know what. Normally they fly around.
Well, I think DeForest Buckner's been hurt too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's very true. Should have been a 49er to this day.
Yeah, and by the way, we run down this list. Of course, the Jags, Titans, Colts, they're all winless. They're in the same division.
Yeah.
And so the Houston Texans are like, this is going to be easy.
It should be. How about, and I don't know if they, people expected them to do anything, maybe, but what about the Bengals?
Yeah.
Where are you with the Bengals?
They surprised me yesterday that they almost won. That was a dreadful loss, the opener at home. Dreadful loss. Yesterday, that would have been a real feather in their caps. They've started, I think 5 of the last 6 years now. They've been 0-2. So I think all of a sudden, a lot of us who are expecting them to challenge for the division now, it's like, well, I don't know. They got the whole Jamar Chase thing yesterday. He got thrown out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, Jay, but I kind of dodged what you had said when you asked me my opinion. You mentioned the Rams, and you were speculating that I think the Rams are in trouble. I think the Rams are in a lot of trouble right now because, I mean, anybody's in trouble when you lose so many guys that are, so many key players. And sometimes you can win in spite of that and keep your head above water, which is what the Niners will try to do here for a while, but they haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's a great point. I had to pull up the Bengals schedule. They got a soft schedule, man, on paper.
They just got to win their divisional games.
They play Washington next, winnable at Carolina. You should absolutely win that. Baltimore week 5 is, I guess, both of those teams may be jockeying for something there.
I'm assuming if they have an easy schedule, then probably the other teams in their division.
Yeah, I was trying to see who they play. It looks like they play the AFC West because they have Denver, Chargers, Vegas, Kansas City, who they lost yesterday. And then it looks like they play NFC East. Yeah, they play the NFC East because you have New York, Dallas, Washington, and Philadelphia. Yeah. So it looks like, but I guess it's the way it's set up. They got Washington, then at Carolina. Baltimore should be a good game. At the Giants, they go to Cleveland. Then you have the Eagles, Vegas, Baltimore, Chargers. That's like where it's at right there. Then the back half is winnable, though. They got Tennessee in there.
They just got to win their division.
Denver
games.
in there.
They got a lot of chances to make 0-2 is like, but you got to win their division.
Yeah, they have some availability to move up already, just looking at their schedule.
Browns, Steelers, Ravens, they got to beat.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, 49er fans, are we overreacting to another loss in Minnesota? Like Jay says, we are, especially in the wake of today's unfortunate Debo news. That's next. Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite news podcasts? Good news! Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Stay up to date on everything newsworthy with podcasts like The Daily, Up First, and 5 Things Uninterrupted at Amazon.com/ad-free. Just head to Amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
High Voltage live boxing action returns to Northern California Saturday, September 21st at the venue at Thunder Valley with Thunder Showdown, featuring the undefeated 12th ranked welterweight in the world, Amari Jones, plus Alan Sanchez versus Sal Briseno, and 8 more exciting undercard fights with Maribel Guerrero, Blake McKernan, Gabriel Garcia, Anthony Hernandez, Ruben Torres, Alexander Espinoza, and more. Don't miss the Thunder Showdown, September 21st at Thunder Valley. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Play card subject to change.
Model year end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
It's not hard to be a mom. It's hard to be a good mom. It's easy to be a bad mom. That's so easy. But to be a good mom is hard. To be a bad mom, that's as easy as being a great dad. That's...
Nikki Glazer, Alive and Unwell Tour. Friday, September 20th. The venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. She's alive and unwell. Don't miss Nikki Glazer.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
We got Monday Night Football coming up bottom of the hour. The Philadelphia Eagles. And the Atlanta Falcons. So getting ready for that. Jae and Whitey today. Our own Emil Fragoso on Twitter says it best here. Says, to say the 49ers start to the 2024 season is less than ideal would be an understatement. He says that after the 49ers fell yesterday, and we found out today that Deebo Samuel has a strained calf and is expected to miss a couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll have more details on that in the next day or so. But you know how the 49ers are with injuries, Jay. We may not know much more for a long time on that.
Oh, yeah. You'll keep it close to the vest. You still need to drink some milk or something, man. I don't know what it is.
Worst calf coach in the league, whoever he is.
Like these cats, literally, it's every season. You get a couple of 2 or 3 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks.
Keep your heads above water. Should be fine a long season, as Jay has pointed out. I can understand why 49er fans are not panicking, but very upset. Jay says, and the commission always knows.
Well, I just expect it. I look at it a little more. Unfortunately, I guess I've been burned enough by the 49ers that.
So you lower your expectations.
Yeah, you know, it is, Whitey. It's not the greatest thing to admit to, but I know, man. I definitely know the 49ers. The moment you get super high on the 49ers is the moment, they have 3-game losing streak. 2 of the guys get injured. You know, somebody missed the bus, a plane wasn't on time. You know, somebody needs a new contract. The 49ers just seem to have that way about them.
So it's like a defense mechanism. You just keep your expectations in check. And that way you're less likely to be disappointed.
Absolutely. Like but I don't want to dampen anybody's spirits. I don't want to dampen anyone's fandom. Fan how you want to fan. If you are a roller coaster rider, then please do it. You know, get your Superman on.
Yeah.
Get your Six Flags on.
That's just one of the great things about last Monday's win was that the offseason was so tumultuous and difficult for fans that it was nice to have something good to enjoy and almost a relief.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, okay, I think they're going to be okay. And then you come back with that. And then on top of that, and by the way, Debo's hurt now too. A little troubling.
Yeah. Between CMC and Tricky Ricky P and now Debo. I get it. I definitely understand. I just think there is the expectations of this team is to win a Super Bowl. Nothing more, nothing less. How they get there is a story to have to tell. You know, I think when it's all said and done and the smoke clears, I think they'll be in the playoffs. And that's why I continue to keep on saying, call me in January. What this team does in January, and I know you have to have things, you know, you have to build in September and October and November
set
to get
yourself
to January.
up for the best situation.
I get it, but you know what though, Whitey, and this is why I say the 49ers expectations for me have let me down so many times that I've said, we got to be the number one. We got to be the number one team to make it. They get the number one, get the Super Bowl. Lose it. Oh, you know what? Well, man, we can't go on the road and do it. They've went on the road and won tough games. We got to be at home. Well, you know what? The lights get turned out at home too. And so that's my thing with the 49ers. And that's just me. That's what I'm saying. This is just me. This is my expectations when it comes to the 49ers this season. Call me in January.
But here's the thing, and I don't think you disagree with this.
Sure.
One of the reasons we think that about the 49ers, those who want them to do well, one of the reasons we think, wow, it's really important to get that home field, get that bye, is because they are, with so many veterans, they are, by November, they're already staving off so many key injuries, right? It seems like there's always, and I know it's football, so this is true to a degree of every team, but the 49ers always seem to have, late in the year, there's, at least 2 key members that are either out or they're just dealing with nagging injuries, like Kittle's got this or that. And so it just seems more important to them, if they really want to win the Super Bowl, to get that number 1 seed in the home field and the bye.
But what has it done? What has it done for this team?
Well, maybe they wouldn't even have gotten to the Super Bowl if they didn't have that. I understand your question. But my point is, it seems like they need that because they are so often dealing with these injuries.
So if I'm approaching it correctly, to be expected. This Debo injury is to be expected. Maybe not in week 3.
Maybe not at the same time that McCaffrey's out, which I know is what happened last year.
See, I'm a realistic 49er fan. As I'm a realistic Sacramento King fan and everything Oakland A's fan. Sometimes you just got to be real with yourself. As much as you want things to happen, as much as you want to see it happen, unfortunately, I'm not the person playing. I'm not the person coaching. And so everything that I rely on is what these players and coaches do. So I look at it in a different standpoint. And that's why I said, please don't take it. I'm not telling anyone how to fan.
Of course. And
fan how you want to fan. Please fan how you want to fan. I just know Debo's going to be hurt. I know CMC is going to be hurt. I know Kittle's going to be hurt. I know Trent Williams is going to miss a game or two. I know Juszczyk is going to miss a game or two. I know, I know these things are going to happen because it happens every single year. There's not an anomaly, Whitey. It's not like, oh my gosh, Debo finally got hurt. Man, he's hurt every year.
The scary thing is and we're not going to say their names, but if one of the guys you didn't mention gets hurt, then.
Well, it's Purdy. For me, when Purdy, I'm banging on
it. I wasn't even going to mention any of those guys.
Purdy is the guy. Everybody else for me is replaceable for the 49ers.
There's a linebacker right now. I wouldn't want.
Oh, well, yeah, excuse me, Fred Warner. You're right. I forgot about Fred Warner is X-Men.
Yeah,
he is regenerating.
Yeah.
So I never think about Fred, but you're absolutely right. Fred is the guy.
From the 916. Next week, no CMC or Debo, no Puka or Cup. Which combo hurts which team the most?
Oof. Take your pick.
I still think the 49ers have a slight advantage there because those are not the only 2 guys that the Rams are missing.
Yeah, they're missing, like you said, their whole right side of the line.
Yeah, unless those guys are back, and I'd have to check.
Well, Johnson's done for the year.
Yeah, so
he's already come out and said he's done.
That's where, obviously, McVay tried to scheme around it, but for the 49ers, it's like you couldn't ask for a much better matchup for your front.
Yeah. That's what I said. The 49ers, it sounds crazy because we're going into week 3, but there's some home stew. There's some cooking. There's some chicken noodle soup on the stove right now. You have a banged up Rams team and you have a Patriots team that everybody thought is, going to be the worst. Now they've played well, but you forgot to out-talent the Patriots. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. You can't let Jacoby Brissett come in here and beat you.
No, that would be not panic time, but that would be.
That's a horrible loss.
Serious disappointment time.
That's like the Kings losing to the Trailblazers or the Pistons or the Wizards.
Which they did.
Right. There you go.
You can relive the greatest music of the King of Pop with a 13-piece live ensemble performing the most exciting and complete tribute to Michael Jackson only at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. All you have to do is hit up. I'm sorry, Jay. I actually thought this was online. I didn't realize people were calling, so I apologize to you. But all you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now. Looking for caller number 4. Caller number 4 to score that pair of tickets. Check out Rock With You at Thunder Valley Casino Resort Thursday, October 17th. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Good luck.
Rest in peace, Tito, too.
Yeah,
We're talking
70,
Jackson.
I think.
Yeah, 70 on the dot, sir.
Mm-hmm. Did you happen to see the fight that broke out at a Jane's Addiction concert
Yeah,
on stage?
I did see that. It's
Mhm.
real in these streets, Whitey.
Yeah. I couldn't understand it. There was a theory that the guitarist cut short an instrumental break because the band didn't want the lead singer to be just going on and on and on, so they cut it short so he wouldn't be able to do whatever he wanted, and then he got really mad at that and he attacked, was it Dave Navarro? So I don't know. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Something like that happens. Good luck. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. What do the 49ers need to fix before the season starts to slide away?
Injuries.
Jay? Get healthier?
Can I already say that?
Yeah.
Getting out the blue tent?
Right.
Getting off the IR?
Number one at the on my list.
Okay.
And I agree with you, but there's only so much you can do about
Sure.
that. But Brandon Ayuk. I don't know how you do it, and maybe it's just a matter of he's got to play. It's going to take time, but you got to get Brandon Ayuk, especially without Debo now. Brandon Ayuk has to become the weapon that he was as soon as possible now.
That's your number one?
That's number one.
Okay.
Leaky secondary would be second.
Got you.
And then we haven't even talked about it today. The special teams, Jay, were not so freaking special yesterday, were they? There was nothing special about it.
In what form or fashion? In the coverage?
A blocked punt, and then Wisniewski's looking at the guy like, oh, he got up. Now he's running. All you had to do was put a hand on him. No one put a hand on him.
Oh, it's a punter, man. You asking for a punter to get physical?
CJ Ham, not even get physical, just you're down. Tag, you're down. But instead it's like, oh, whoa, dude got up and he's running. I better chase him. Yeah.
Maybe he wanted to get the cardio pumping.
How about Cowing with the, fair catch. Oops. Yeah, and luckily Yadam fell on that. But that was a very unfortunate display from special teams yesterday. And I got to say, that's been, to me, it's been a recurring theme under Kyle Shanahan. The special teams have not always been great.
Truth? So you got Ayuk one?
Yes. Leaky secondary.
Secondary two?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, there was Sam Darnold had on key third downs yesterday, right? He had guys wide open. Like you said, you didn't like as much zone. You didn't like them to play as much zone as they played.
Well, they play zone there too much.
Yeah, they just didn't play very well.
Yeah, they didn't yesterday.
Yeah, it's great if you can get more pressure up front, but the pressure up front was at times pretty good yesterday, and still gaping holes in the secondary.
Yeah,
those would be my three things. Like, you better start fixing those now.
Can I say injuries one for me, or you is that a scapegoat? Okay,
yeah.
All right,
I'll agree with you on that.
Okay,
yeah.
The injuries
There's only
number
so much
one,
you
but
can do.
I thought we came into the season, and I've said it numerous times: injuries are going to be a problem for the 49ers, as it always do. They need some skim milk, goat milk, vitamin D, 2%, low fat. I don't know what they need, but they need to get right over there, some kind of form or fashion. Too many injuries have happened over the last, within the last Shanahan regime, which is 7-8 years, something of that nature. That for me, that's number one. Number two, I'm with you. I think and this part of this is injury, is figuring out what is happening in your backside of your secondary. I need to know. And I said this, and remember somebody came on here and laughed. I was like, George Odom is not going to start. And I told him, George Odom is going to start for this team, because you don't put Mustafa out there. First of all, you don't put him out there on a Monday night against Aaron Rodgers. You don't start him on a Monday night in the biggest game of the week, prime time. And then third part of it is, there was no way Kyle Shanahan and that defense and Nick Sorensen was putting out basically a rookie and a second year guy who played half the season in Jair Brown. It just wasn't going to happen.
Dre Greenlaw right now and Hufanga.
Yeah, hence why I say injuries. We knew coming into the season there were going to be some problems. So secondary for me is number two. And then the third part is, it sounds crazy, but I'm not second guessing it.
Say it, Commissioner.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's a problem, but I'm also saying this. You'll be a fool not to learn from your mistakes. Some way, some form, some fashion, Kyle Shanahan has got to muster up. And I go back to the word you're using, stubbornness.
Mm-hmm.
Something's got to change.
Scheme arrogance.
I don't know what it is. I can't put my thumb on it. I'm trying to, pin the tail on the donkey, but I don't have it.
To me, the classic example of that was yesterday when trying to move the ball and run the offense, and then play calls weren't working, and they're not picking up third downs, not picking up fourth downs. And then they run the hurry up. It's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Start moving the ball.
But that's the problem, Whitey. They never do stuff. They never change it.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm saying, why didn't they do that sooner?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Can we get Shanahan? We're trying to get Shanahan on the phone. There's something that has to be done, and maybe we can ask him about the schemes or the or
I'm sure he'd love to talk to us about that.
I'm pretty sure he wouldn't, but I'm going to drop the legend name in there, Kevin Whitey Gleason, and I'm like, hoping that you can ask that question and get away with it, but there's something to it where I think the 49ers definitely can out-talent, and now I'm talking about the next couple of weeks. They can definitely out-talent the Rams. By all means necessary, you need to out-talent the Patriots. I know the Patriots have played decently, well, whatever you want to call it, surprise people, have played tough-minded. Drapes has talked about Gerard Mayo, what he brings to the table. I get all of that. But Jacoby Brissett ain't beating me. That's just what it is. They have to win the next couple of games by scheme, making adjustments, and actually going in and believing they are better than these next couple of teams that they face. Part of that to me is preparation and how you come out. I'm tired of seeing all the boombox dancing and y'all out here getting worked in the first quarter. Like, you got to change that. I'm not saying not having fun. This coming from me. You know me. I like to do it big and do it well. But there is a point in time you got to start to change things that haven't worked, because little to be whatever we talking about, we living off 35, 40 year ago memories. And we got to be honest about what ourselves when it comes to 49er fans. I can't continue to keep talking about Steve Young in 94, 95. I can't continue to talk about the GOATs. Some point in time, like we seen with Fred Warner, and he talked about it, and we'll play it tomorrow. We got to be better. Meaning the 49ers have to be better. You can't continue to not be better in certain situations and instances. And so that, for me, that's number 3, and hopefully it doesn't work its way up to number 1.
I think Ayuk has got to start producing for them, especially now that Debo's out. And the other thing is, one of the absolute keys to the loss yesterday and also the loss to Minnesota last year was that they fell behind. You fall behind against that team, then it does, to a degree, eliminate the run for you, and it makes their blitzes more effective because they know you're more likely to throw. They have to get a lead, establish a lead, and then they have to ride Jordan Mason and scale it back. But to get the lead, you're going to need, yesterday Debo and Kittle were productive, and now you don't have Debo. So Brandon Ayuk, it's like, all right, it's time. I'm glad you got your money. You've had a couple weeks, good for you. But now the team needs you to start.
Gotta be the star, right?
Yeah, the level of performance that you actually got paid for producing.
Water from the 916, water, lentils, and vegetables, specifically kale and spinach, recover in a second and no more elasticity injuries. That's from Justin in the 916. Justin.
Is Justin saying they need kale?
That's what they
Kale's
need.
the answer?
They need to shake the kale and spinach joint.
Kale is my new, Justin, sorry. Justin is my new calf coach because I'm part of the 49ers calf coach. Worst in the league. Worst in the league.
Can I say this when you talked about playing in front? What if they don't play in front? Does that frustrate you? Are you panicking, or can the 49ers win from behind?
We saw what happened yesterday. It's just tougher. They're not really built for that, as silly as that sounds. But they're especially not built for that if you don't have Brandon Ayuk as productive as he was. Because you're behind, you got to throw, right? You don't have Debo, so who's he going to throw? You can't. I love Jordan Mason. They don't throw to him.
Right.
Either they don't have faith in him, or I would think you could throw him a few passes.
He caught one or two yesterday.
And he's caught one in the first game.
Yeah.
So they don't throw to him. So all of a sudden your offensive, your playbook is scaled down. So you need Brandon Ayuk.
Well, you better start going to the juice, man. The juice made a lot of money the last 5, 6, 7 years, man. I just, Whitey, and it's tough for me coming to the show, man. I just really don't have no excuses for the 49ers no more. I think that's where I'm at with this season. And that's why I continue to be repetitive and a broken record. I don't want to put anybody's fandom into, please do you. Have fun, enjoy it. I do. I love waking up on Sundays. Lord willing, whoever the most high is that you love.
Jay, are you already preparing for a disappointing
season?
Well,
no. I'm being realistic. I think I'm being realistic, and I think that's one of the things Draper talks about when he talks about the 49er fans and the faithful. And I tend to agree with them in certain situations. I also say that I think it's vice versa. You know what's funny? Sometimes the dynamic of this show is I figured this out, Whitey, is this. The 49ers Draper's like, man, tamper that stuff down. And then when the King season pop around, it's like me saying that. Like tamper the expectations, right?
Yes.
And so I've kind of figured that out with the dynamic, but I'm starting to get that way with the 49ers. And that's why I say I'm not looking past everything, because what you do now matters to getting to January. But I've seen the 49ers do it all at this point. First to last, first to seventh. I'll say seventh now, even though they haven't. But first to seventh. And I ain't seen no trophies in nobody's case. Right. So what I'm saying is I expect Debo to be hurt. I expect Trent Williams to miss a game. I expect the 49ers to go to Minnesota and lose. I expect a 2-game losing streak this year. I expect for people, the faithful, to panic. I expect for people to be frustrated. I expect for disappointment. With all that being said, none of this stuff matters until January with the 49ers.
I would suggest you agree with this. It's interesting. You look at the 49ers since 2019 when they really became one of the best teams in the league, and they've come up short so many times. You would think, fans, and I'm including myself in this, we're not reasonable.
No.
Normally, if you're a fan or you're an observer or something and it doesn't go well, your expectations start to go down, right? But with fans, 49er fans, again, I'm including myself, with each close call, the expectations go up. It's like, well, they didn't win last year, so they better win this year. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's kind of nonsensical, but we all
Yes.
do it. It's not like, oh, maybe they're not that good. It's like, no, well, they owe me. They didn't win last year. They came close, and they've come close a lot. So this year, they better win it all.
Yeah, that's a great point. I feel that way.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that way. That's a great point. I love where you're going
It's
with
backwards, but we all do it.
that. Well, maybe I'm trying to be the voice of reason today because I've seen it. People are crashing. The walls have already come down. We lost to Minnesota for yet another time.
The other thing we do is something called catastrophizing, which is things are going wrong. We assume everything's wrong. It's like, oh, they had the holdouts. And you had somebody get shot, which is terrible. Oh, and McCaffrey, sir. And you just assume things are going wrong. That means the whole season's going to be a catastrophe. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I get
not
where
the
you're
best
going.
way to look at it.
Yeah, but that's what fans do. That's what we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we hang on every moment.
What would
one bad pass, one good pass.
These are the great Matt Mayoko's grades, NBC Sports Bay Area. Rushing offense, C-, passing offense, D, rushing defense, D-, passing defense, D-, special teams, F, coaching, D, overall D-. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's off a little bit of those grades. He's not grading on the curve, I can see. But yeah,
he's not usually, he's not.
The line didn't give me a D.
Yeah,
the line didn't give me no D situation. I thought they played well. I'd have gave him a B. Everybody else, I can understand where he's coming from.
You said a defensive line?
Yeah, D-line. D-line played decently.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they played maybe even above
Not
average.
everyone agrees with you.
Yeah. I think that was the one. Yeah, well, I think that's the one part of the 49ers where I was like, all right, they were cool.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, I'll take that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Credit, no credit. Pass, no pass.
It was a rough game yesterday. I'd feel a lot better if the Atlanta Falcons rose up tonight.
Me and you both.
Yeah.
I might have to do a little research tomorrow on, facts about Falcons. See if I could. Bird game. Yeah, I think I need them.
Yes.
Let me tell you, I need them to rise up.
Yeah.
Because once Drape hits that microphone and chair, with Debo going down, you already know what's coming.
We're back with you tomorrow. Stick around for Monday Night Football on Sactown Sports.
Hey, Daydreamer. Did we catch you thinking about your dreams? With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can